Go. Admit. I'm just admitting everybody. They got the link. Pam? Didn't we have Pam before? We got Angela. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Everybody all once. Some people are still getting assembled. Hello. I don't hear anyone. That's not good. Test, 1, 2.
Hello.
There we go. Hey. Hello, everyone. Good to see everyone virtually. Some familiar faces, some new faces. It's great to see you all. We've got about 12 bodies joining us today. And get this situated just right. If you want to get started, I would suggest you print out the template that was emailed to you. If you have a printer, hopefully you have a printer at home. If you have not printed out and gotten started, I suggest you get started right away. Examples behind me here. I need to do a couple of things, a little housekeeping here first. Let's see here. No, there's something wrong, some technical difficulties. Just bear with me, everyone, for just 1 second. There you go, you're the co-host now. There you go. I see Angela. Hi, Angela. Hi, Julie. You're looking festive tonight. Does my shirt look crazy on Zoom? Because it's doing like crazy things on the thumbnail view. Like looking all wow. Hi, it's good to see you, Julie.
Hi.
I got to get myself on speaker view, and it's not doing it for me tonight. Oh, that's right. I got to go spotlight over here. Otherwise, I'm recording everybody and not myself. I need to record myself. There we are. Now, I can't see all of you, so if you need my attention, feel free to wave or shout out or chit-chat in the chat box. I've got my lovely wife, Annie, sitting next to me, and she will be manning the chat console. So any questions you throw in there, she'll let me know that you're chatting over there, and I can take a look at them. Otherwise, I really can't see all of you. I can only see 5 of you at once. So we're going to get started on time today. We're going to start right at 7. So people are late, they can catch up, or they can watch the recording later on. And that goes for all of you that are on already, that if you lose track or if I go too fast, that you can always watch the recording afterwards. I will send you the link a couple days after our class. It takes like a day to upload it to YouTube. And that takes another day to put the closed captioning on it. So after it's uploaded and the closed captioning on it, I will give you all the link. I will send it to you in MailChimp with the address that you registered for this class. I am not going to use this address for anything else but to send that YouTube link. Yeah, so hopefully you're all ready. So this is where we're starting. It's 7 o'clock, not 6:59, but it's close enough on my watch that this is where we're starting. So you will have hopefully printed out. Look at all these Van Goghs I got already. I've got one over here. I've got one over here, one behind me. I've painted this a couple times now. This example right here shows like kind of I use a lot smaller strokes. And this example took probably like 5 to 10 times as long. So kind of keep that in mind as you're painting. Are you not admitting these people into the room? That's all right. I got it. They're coming in. Hi, new guests. I was just saying.
Can you see us?
Hello, welcome.
Hey.
It's good to see you.
Look at this.
Everyone connecting audio. This is one of my former elementary school students about to log on. How exciting. So like, I retired from elementary school teaching like 8 years ago. So some of my students are now like adults, and it's mind blowing to see them. Hopefully she'll turn her camera on and I can see her. So this one, I was saying that I painted lots of small strokes on this one, and it took me about 5 to 10 times as long. Haley, there you are. Hey, it's good to see you. You know, I recognized your name when you signed up, but I'm like, well, somebody else could have the same name. It is possible. But hey, it's awesome to see you. Did you hear that I just talked to Alexis the other day?
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, totally. You didn't talk to her? I thought that's how you heard about it. Oh, that's so awesome.
Oh, no, I didn't get it.
Anyway, I was just saying how I use little teeny tiny strokes on this version of the Van Gogh that I did and it took me like 5 times as long. So keep that in mind when you're painting. If you want it to go by a little faster, use some thicker, bolder strokes. So I have an example here where I did it
Hi,
probably,
you're a Zoom person. Can you come up?
probably half the time. You can see they're a lot bolder, quicker, but it still looks just as good. I think it does anyway. So keep that in mind when you're painting, that if you want it to go by a little faster, use a bigger, wider brush. It doesn't have to be quite as much detail as I just showed you on that first one. Yeah, so I got Van Gogh Starry Nights coming out my ears now. And I'm actually looking forward to doing it again, because tonight we are gamifying Van Gogh's Starry Night. So make sure you have a few things to get started. On my left over here, you see that I have some cups of water. I always keep one clean cup of water, one dirty cup of water to clean my brushes out with. And I keep one clean so I can just add water to paint at any time, using my cup of water and kind of water it down, maybe kind of make a little watercolor out of it. I also have a palette. A palette of any kind will work. You could use this type of palette. I feel like Bob Ross when I have one, when I put my thumb in like that. But you can just use like disposable plates or those 50-cent palettes that you find at Hobby Lobby. But yeah, I got Starry Nights coming out of my ears over here. I'm really excited to paint it again and roll the dice to get another random
Can you show me how?
result.
Maybe.
Is someone trying to holler at me? Or I just gotta mute somebody. It's all good. Yeah, just holler out if you got a question. Unmute yourself and just say, hey, Dan, what's up? Oh, and that's my name, Dan, by the way, if you didn't notice that already. I am Mr. Paint Party, and I've been doing this for about 7 years. So just shout out either Mr. Paint Party or Dan or Damn.
Oh, I opened it. Yeah, I was gonna steal from
Frustrated Damn works. So,
I don't know. It would be somewhere in your
guys
audio
got this
settings.
drawn out. So if you haven't started printing this out yet, hopefully you get to hear with me. So I've got both of those things printed out, and they line up. Oh, and I got somebody's trying to come in with their phone. Oh, how does that work? I don't know.
I don't know.
Somebody trying to call in?
Yeah.
Is somebody using their phone to call in? Is that? I just want to know what that phone number is. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Who is that?
It's under Ken, but it's Mary.
Mary?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe I had a Kenneth on the list. It's Kenneth from the list. Okay,
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mary. Appreciate it. Hi, Jamie. Oh, you're hanging out with Heather.
Hi! Here we are in a pod, so we are safely chilling. We are not being dangerous.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to your birthday party, painting party coming up.
Me too. I'll be 40. Woo!
But you guys didn't need to buy 2 tickets if you're on one Zoom. But
No,
I
I was
appreciate
just gonna send you another 10 for our friend Candace. So if you can, let me know and we'll send it over.
All right, cool. That'll
Yeah.
work.
And did we need to print out that to do the carbon copy thing again?
Yes, I am not drawing along with you guys today. So you're going to need to print it and trace it if you want it to look accurate or somewhat accurate like Starry Night. I think that's the real hint to the beginning of the project, because we're going to do so many wild changes with the Starry Night with the roll of our dice. I don't know if you guys read that instructions, that PDF, but there's some wild steps, some wild twists and turns that we're going to take.
Apparently.
So, and in fact, I am going to open up my instructions right now, and I'm going to try to stay on pace and stay on track, because the last couple classes we've gone overtime quite a bit. So, I'd like you guys to draw this thing out while I'm jibber-jabbering here.
With pencil?
With, the way I did it is how we did it in the past, which is I print it out, and then I color the backside with, see, I already got it done, so I'm just going to take my time over here and tell you guys how to do it. So I took my pencil and just shaded the whole backside of it. It's kind of a cheap, easy way to trace it onto your canvas accurately. So this is 2 8.5 by 11s that I printed out. You'll notice at the top of this cypress tree over here, you're going to have to draw yourself.
Okay.
That should be manageable, hopefully.
We're going to freehand it.
Say again?
We're going to freehand it.
Are you sweet? It's not too tough. I would say just like have the number of buildings in there so it's not so tedious. In this section down here, do like maybe 3 or 4 buildings instead of like
Maybe
12.
3 or 4. Definitely.
You guys got it set up like a real paint party too. I love it. You got like easels going and everything. I'm gonna flip back and forth so I can see everybody. Hi, do I see my cousin Teresa there? Teresa, you there? Oh Oh, you are back there. You're way in our distance. You can hear me well though, huh?
Yeah,
I
you're,
feel like I gotta shout because you're so tiny back there.
you're on our TV.
Oh, sweet! I'm on the big screen. Good. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad I wore my good shirt then. What I did is I colored on the backside of it with my pencil, and then I just traced over it with a pen, so that imprint went on my canvas. Now I did myself a favor and went over it with Sharpie so you guys could see it. Last time it was kind of hard to see my pencil marks when I rewatched the replay, so I did this in Sharpie so I could see it. And feel free to do it in Sharpie if you want to, because those lines will just show through and kind of make it a little more cartoony. And that's kind of the intent that I'm going to have with this one today, because I didn't do it with my past examples. Yeah, go ahead, shout it out. Trace it over to who now?
I'm yelling at Mom. It's nothing important.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and mute you if you're just going to be shouting at each other.
Yeah.
All right. So I think do we got 12 people in here now? We do? Oh, that's a first. We actually have all our attendance. I'm going to fall down. All right. So while you guys are busy drawing, I'm going to ramble list. I'm just going to ramble. I'm going to ramble through the list of other supplies that I have on my table next to me. So I was saying I have 2 cups of water, 1 cup for dirty water that I'm going to clean my brushes in, 1 cup for clean water that I'm going to use to water down paints. I do that occasionally as I'm mixing, and because it's winter and it's dry and paints dry up real fast. I also have, that being said, I also have my trusty all bottle that I've had for over 20 years. This thing has stood by my side. It's been dropped, been painted on, all these little paint swatches that I have. Teresa did what?
No, nothing. You're good. You're good. We're just figuring it out.
This actually might be from the Mahers from years and years ago, from when we first moved in together, wasn't it? No, because this is from before that.
Is it? Okay.
This predates.
Is Annie there?
This predates that. Annie's here. Annie is the co-host over here. If you want to chat with her, feel free to use the chat box window. She'll chat with you.
No problem.
But yeah, she's here. She just doesn't want to be on camera. So I have my trusty all bottle here full of water, and when things dry up, I'll just give it a spritz or two, so I can use my acrylic paints a little longer. And of course, for this painting, we also need a dice. If you don't have a dice, I happen to have a spare, so here you go. No, but in all honesty, I can roll for you, or random number generators online. You just Google random number generator, and you can get a random number of any choice that you so desire. You can set it to 1 through 6, or you can do 1 through a million if you need any kind of random number. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to draw that thing out. I'm going to give you plenty of time to draw that out because I want you guys to paint along with me. So what else can I say? Well, I'm happy to see you all. If any of you want to engage with me so I'm not just talking to myself the whole time, that'd be freaking awesome. I love it when people participate and shout out, or even if it's just an okay or a yep or a no, or I understand or I don't understand, that kind of thing. But some of you are new. This is your first time. So I just want to take a second to introduce myself. My name is Dan Korsinski. I have been an artist for as long as I can remember. And just recently, within the last 5 or 6 years, I changed professions from being an art teacher to computer teacher over to being an artist of all sorts of shapes and sizes. I do web design now. I do this Mr. Paint Party gig, and I also do fine art. I try to keep a commission on this desk at all times to a commissioned painting or a drawing, and I've got too much to do actually at the moment. I got lots and lots of drawings to do. Everybody wants a commissioned drawing. So, especially for Christmas, it's a very good, unique gift. If you can't find a poster of something, or actually the 2 that I have are kind of are a little touching. They're both like dead relatives of people that they have like rekindled with a work of art on their wall. So it's really sweet and precious that some people approach me with those requests. But yeah, I've been doing this for about 6 or 7 years now, and some of you I haven't seen in years, and it's good to see your faces. Some of you are regulars, and it's good to see you again. It means the world to me that you're coming back to more than one painting class. Those of you that haven't seen me in years, check out this beard that I got going. I think I might have to change the Mr. Paint Party logo to include my big lumberjack, gray, wispy, ugly beard. What is this thing? Zoom's telling me something. Allow participants. Oh, am I not allowing you guys to unmute yourself? Oh, you can unmute yourselves? Oh, is that the problem? That's why nobody's speaking up. All right, well, you guys are allowed to unmute yourselves now. I can't believe that was clicked off. I am so sorry for those of you that were trying to talk and I muted you. I silenced you and you couldn't unmute yourself. Oh, Zoom. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that in any way offensively, any way, shape, or form. Feel free to talk. I highly encourage social participation because after all, we're all stuck at home with this COVID baloney and we all need that social interaction, being stuck home alone. Although it's nice to see some of you guys got pods too, where you get to co-mingle with close families. That's a great idea. Unfortunately, my pod that I was mingling with, one of the kids caught mono, so now our pod is kind of stuck being podless, I guess. So, hey, it's all good. We roll with the punches, and everything's going to be all right. So, let me get, now I've been rambling for about 15 minutes, so let me get a show of hands or a couple of yeses or nos if we are ready to paint. If we're ready to rock and roll with step one, ready to roll the dice. Can I get a yes or no, a thumbs up, something, a nod? I got a thumbs up, a nod. Can I get another nod, a yes, a no?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to carry on. Thanks for the thumbs ups and the nods, guys. At least a little bit of input so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. I know that's one of the problems. My daughter does V-learning right here at the computer behind me. And it's like that.
We're on mute. We're not ready. Give us 2 seconds.
What?
I said we're not ready. Can we have another minute?
Yes, you can have another second. And I'm probably still going to ramble for another 5 minutes. That's pretty much that all sixth grade is asking if people can hear you or if you can unmute yourself or your video is not on. Can you turn your video on? Can you turn your video on? I mean, that's all day. I can't get any work done from 8 till 3 or 8:30 to 3. It is impossible. Now my work goes all through the night because I can't get any reasonable work done during the day. Can you turn your video on? Can you unmute yourself? Can somebody participate besides Skyly?
Jeannie.
Bueller.
Yeah, you want me to sing something?
If you no, who wants to sing?
Oh no, I was kidding. It's Jamie.
Jamie, you can totally sing. It's highly encouraged. Especially at your own party. We're gonna want that.
Yeah, I'll do it then for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Much to everyone's chagrin.
We'll all sing. We'll put on some music and sing through Zoom, karaoke. If you want to, I'm gonna fly through the lessons when we're all started, when we're ready with this thing drawn out. I'm gonna fly through these steps. But if anybody wants to stay on afterwards and paint a little longer, schmooze with me, I'm gonna leave. The Zoom doesn't cut us off. The Zoom is officially going till 9:30. The meeting 7 to 9:30. But if you want to hang out a little longer and talk and ask some questions, feel free to hang out afterwards. And I'll be painting. I have plenty of stuff to paint. I got examples to paint for the next paint party. Or we can paint Starry Night again if you want to. I can paint with you all night long, so that's not a problem for me. But all right, so another minute. Somebody shouted out. I think it was Jamie that shouted out she needed another minute. How you doing now, Jamie? How many more minutes do you need? 5, 10, 20?
How many buildings am I supposed to do?
Well, you're drawing it on your own, so I'd say like not as many as are in a picture. Maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 5 tops. I mean, make sure you get this like main cathedral guy, this tall thingy with a spire. And then yeah, just a couple little houses. Let me count if I count them all together here. I don't know. There's maybe 12 all together. So if you want to draw like half that many, perhaps.
You're in some good shape right now, or what?
It's all good. It's all good.
Wow, this is gonna be the world.
Where's my new Zoomers from? I know where most of you are from. Where's April from? April, where are you from?
Danville, Illinois.
Danville. Hey.
Like Dan.
Just like my name, Dan. Boy, oh boy. And then I got another new Pam.
Pam was here last week.
No, Pam was here last week.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, it's good to see you, Pam. A return visitor. Awesome sauce. Good to see you. Where are you from again, Pam? I wish I was better at reading lips. You said it. But
Sorry, Zoom is new to me.
it's all good.
I'm from Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. All righty then. That's awesome. Some East Coast participants too.
Yeah. Love to
Good,
meet.
good. The furthest participant away I had so far has been Alaska, which is cool. But hey, you keep on expanding. Maybe we can go worldwide eventually, huh?
Yeah.
I wanted to clue you guys in. I just put another event out on my website, and it is the very first Name Your Price event. That's right. You can tell me how much you want to pay. So I just want to get crazy amount of people signed up. That one's January 15th. We're painting the water lilies. But I just want a crazy amount of people signed up. So tell your friends, sign up now. I think Zoom limits to 100. So we're going to push its capacity. We're trying to get 100 bodies in here, but I know that's an unreasonable expectation. But I've painted with 100 people before, live. So, I mean, if I could do it live, we could do it online, right? So it could happen. It could happen. All right, I'm ready. Who's ready? I'm ready. Let's get started, guys. So I'm going to start off with some paint on my palette. First, you'll notice that I'm getting my brush wet. I always do that first because a dry brush, the bristles are all like, they still have glue in them from the factory if you got a new brush, and they just need to have some life brought back into them again. So get your brush wet and then dry it off on a paper towel. And if you notice that, I call it sharpening the brush, but if you squeeze the tip together, if you hold a nice flat brush on its side, it looks like a pointed brush. Look at that. See, I have a pointed brush, I have a flat brush. Pointed brush, flat brush. So this is the brush that I like using from the get-go. This is gonna be great for painting in our sky.
Believe in yourself. Gotta believe.
So we're all gonna start with this brush no matter what we roll on our dice. And I'm gonna bring up my instruction sheets again. I had my water lilies on there. I'm just making sure that was the name of your price event. Yes, that's the name of your price event. So you can type in any price that you wanna pay for that event on January 15th. So I expect to see all of you there.
$1 million.
So step one, I'm gonna have to read my own steps because I did write these steps a week ago. Is we're gonna draw, you're gonna draw first. Man, oh man. We're gonna draw the swirls in the sky. I totally forgot. Hello, my sky is completely blank. That's the one thing that I didn't give you to print out. So grab your dice, roll a number, and based on that number, we're gonna do a drawing in the sky. I'm gonna try to be as honest as I can and not cheat. But you know, if you want to follow along with a different step, feel free. I'm gonna say what they all are. Number one is draw the stars and swirls with your non-dominant hand. Oh, damn, I hope you didn't roll a number one. Or alternatively, if you really don't want to draw the other hand, flip your canvas upside down to draw your stars. If you rolled a 2, draw 2 times as many swirls as Van Gogh. Draw a 3, if you roll a 3, draw 3 times as many swirls as Van Gogh. If you roll a 4, create stars and swirls with a zigzag appearance. So you got to be creative with that one. I don't even know what I meant by that one. I didn't roll that one. So you might be the first one to try out that number 4. Create the stars and swirls with a zigzag appearance. Number 5 was what I rolled, is try to draw the stars and swirls as similarly to Van Gogh as you can. So Jamie, Heather, you're not the only ones that have to draw Van Goghs by themselves. I'm gonna have to draw the stars by myself. I don't have anything to try.
Thank you.
And then number 6 is draw the stars as swirls as cartoony and as illustrative as you can. What I mean by that is like make it more cartoony, make it solid lines, make it simplified. I do have an example of that. That's what I did on this one right here. So this one's my more cartoony. I rolled a 6 when I painted this example. So this is more cartoony. I made some solid lines and squiggles. Like, as you can see, I simplified the stars to like basic star illustrative shapes. So I rolled a 5. So I'm gonna try to just do my lines just like Van Gogh's original. So I happen to have a copy of Van Gogh's original right here. So he's got a couple
I rolled
swirls
it
right here.
Good.
He's got some swirls right here. So I want to hear what some of you guys rolled. What did you roll?
5.
A 5. You got a 5 too. Sweet. Anybody else get something different than a 5? What else did you get?
Oh, I got a 5 too.
No way.
I got
Got a 2.
2. What was 2? 2 was draw twice as many swirls. You know, in my pink one, where's my pink one? I'm going to be spinning around a lot. Okay, I'm going to try to spread these out so I'm not spinning around so much. Oh, and you guys can see my Snoopy Starry Night that I have here. How cute is this guy? A lot of Starry Nights. You see in the examples that I gave you too, there's a Batman Starry Night in there too, hiding within. So yes, I can absolutely zoom in so everybody can see. So I just want to show this example real quick. This is I actually rolled a 3 on this one. So this was three times as many swirls as Van Gogh. So I just went swirl crazy and drew swirls all over everything. I even had like some swirls in the bushes down in the bottom and some swirls in the tree. So I went a little overboard with the swirls on that one. But I really like how that pink one turned out. And when they're all up on the wall together next to each other, it's just a blast to have that many Starry Nights. And I can't wait to add another one to the collection. So Van Gogh actually got like a really like normal crescent moon shape here. I gotta be really confident with that drawing because I'm drawing with a Sharpie. And that moon, very non-confident. I'm gonna request to zoom. If at any point you want me to zoom in, shout out, I will switch to my other camera, which has this angle.
Come in. Thank you.
Look at that nice zoomed in angle you guys got here. I can move it up, down. Let me get this a little more centered here. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. There we go. All right. So you can see what I got going on there. Again, I rolled a 5, so I'm doing Van Gogh's, more like Van Gogh sky. And there's like a line of clouds here too down at the bottom.
Danny?
Yeah, what's up?
Danny?
Shout it out. What's up?
I wrote 1. What brush do I use?
We're not painting it. We're drawing the star.
I'm just drawing this guy. Yeah, I was about to jump to painting, and I totally forgot. We got drawing stuff first to do, which is drawing in the sky. But if you're ready to start painting, I'm using a 1-inch.
I was like, can I get him live? But I didn't know how to.
I'm using this bad boy. This is a 1-inch wide flat brush. I like it because once you get it wet and squeeze out the tip, you could use it as a nice pointed detail brush. You see it when I hold it to the side, it ends up being a nice pointed detail brush. But it's my nice wide 1-inch brush, which is good for details and for getting those big areas. So a great brush to start off our sky with. Alternatively, if it feels, you got what?
What are we drawing? We're drawing.
What are you drawing? You are drawing, depends on what you rolled. You rolled a 5?
No, I changed it. I rolled a 1.
You change it to a 1. All right, so are you drawing with your flip side, your opposite hand, or are you drawing upside down?
Left hand.
Oh, all right. So I just drew, I looked at do you have the reference photo with all the different printouts here? This little thing, this guy?
I gave it to you.
That sample?
No, this one's mine. I gave you one too.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, what about?
So letter A is Van Gogh's. So you're gonna try to, you're gonna try to draw Van Gogh's as best as you can, just like you would number 5, only you're doing it with your non-dominant hand. So it'll end up looking like mine with the Sharpie drawing on the side of my canvas like I did. Look how lopsided my moon is. It looks like cookie.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Thanks. I need some positive encouragement every once in a while. I appreciate it. I think I got one more star. Yeah, a couple more stars by my cypress tree over here. And yeah, contrary to popular belief, this is a cypress tree. A lot of people think it's a fire or that he was coloring in a fire with black, which makes absolutely no sense. Although he was going crazy at the point in time when he was painting this. People don't know if he was going nuts or if it was because he was eating too much paint. But yeah, he was losing his mind when he was painting this. It was towards the end of his life, and he was painting a lot of cypress trees. So that's what this big flame-like thing is. It's actually a couple trees next to each other. And a little known fact is that cypress trees are a symbol of death. So I think he knew he was at the end of his life, probably because he was going batty. He probably just saw it as a sign that he was coming to an end.
Did we draw that big moon?
Do you have to draw the moon? I mean, you don't have to draw the moon. It's optional. Everything is optional.
No, our first draw?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really hear you well. I'm going to switch back to this other camera. Yeah, what's up?
You're just looking okay.
I'm putting it on this camera so you can see my confused face when you're talking. Like, what? What did you say? All right, so I've got step 1 done. I'm eager to paint, and I'm sure you guys are too. How is your step 1 doing? Do you guys need another minute to draw? I know some of the cartoony illustrative things are a little bit harder to draw. Van Gogh style is pretty wispy and easy to draw. You kind of just do it messy, willy-nilly. I hear some giggling. Is it because I said willy-nilly?
No, it's the paint party. We're giggling at our freehand.
Oh, awesome. Good. Because willy-nilly is a term I use a lot. A lot of painters paint willy-nilly. It's actually technically known as impressionism, but we call it willy-nilly here.
He hasn't shown us what color.
Oh, twice as many stars.
But there are snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I keep wondering.
All right, so we're gonna keep on moving on. Step 2. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Guess what? We're still not painting yet. We're rolling our dice again, and we're gonna add some flair to our sky. So, number 1, if you roll a 1, I'm gonna go ahead and roll. Ooh, I got a 4. Ooh. All right, so number 1 is outline your pencil lines with a permanent marker. If you can find one, hopefully you can find a permanent marker somewhere in your house. If not, roll again and choose something else. Number 2, add patterns to your sky and to your swirls. Think about abstracted geometrical shapes and whimsical lines, dots, and flourishes. Again, that's what I got with this bad boy. So not only did I make it cartoony, but I added lots of whimsical lines, dots, and flourishes. There is an awesome example in that printout as well. letter F. Letter F is another one that I found online. I don't know if they were purposely, well, obviously they were purposely drawing extra whimsical dots and flourishes. But letter F right there, boy, that's a beautiful example of what I'm kind of wanting from that step. Number 3, if you got a 3, break your sky into sections, similar to a stained glass window. So kind of just break it into solid shapes. If you got a number 3. Did anybody get a number 3? I hope somebody got a number 3. Yes, awesome. So if you look at example, do you have your example sheet printed out?
No, if I have it in front of me.
All right.
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and hold it up real close so you can see what I was talking about when I said, it's really hard because it's reversed. All right, letter D right there is kind of like a stained glass window. You see how it's broken up? The sky is broken up into shapes. They don't have to be quite as small of shapes unless you want to be painting all night and all weekend. But make them into like bigger, chunky shapes for your glass. That's going to be a fun way to do it. I almost wish I got what did I say? A 3? A 3. I almost wish I got a 3. A 4 is what I got. So I'm going to be honest in my choice here. I got add stripes to 2 elements of your composition, perhaps something in the sky and something in the foreground. Choices are the main sky background, the stars, the swirling clouds, the foreground trees, the buildings, the main cypress tree. So stripes, adding stripes to something. Interesting. So I'm going to add stripes to this somewhere. Did anybody else get a 4 with me? No? Any 4s? Yeah? Sweet. All right, so you're in the same boat as me. Number 5. Anybody get a 5? 5 is a lucky one. You found the only freebie in my whole thing, my whole list of steps here. Number 5 is the only freebie. You found the only one, so you can skip this step. You're going to take a break while everybody else struggles. Number 6. Number 6 is if you thought you had enough swirls to paint from step 1, nope, add more. And that's actually what I got in my pink example. I had triple the swirls, and then I had to add more swirls, so it just became swirl-tastic. So if you got a 6, you got to add extra swirls. I got a 4, so I got to add some stripes. If any of you want to clue me in on what you're painting and what you rolled, or if you want to show me what you got, show me what you got. I'd love to see at any point in time. And again, I can only see like 5 people at once, so if you want me to see you, holler out so I can zoom into your Zoom. Or chat it up. You chatting? You're supposed to chat with people.
Dan!
I got Annie chatting over here.
All outlined are.
Oh, we got Ray. Ray's from Kentucky. Oh, awesome. Sweet. Massachusetts, Kentucky, Illinois, Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
Nationwide. All right, so I'm going to put some stripes on here. I'm taking my time because my stuff is easy. Stripes is easy. Some people have challenging things. I'm sure some people are still drawing their houses and stuff. That's okay. It's a good thing I added some drawing steps to this first step, isn't it?
Well, next time when we get together, I'm going to bring them.
But as soon as we're done drawing, which is in just a moment, we're going to attack this painting hardcore, which I've been wanting to do. Eager to paint all day. Holding myself back. All right, where am I going to put stripes? I'm going to put stripes on these hills right here. Some bold stripes on my hills.
I'm just drawing mine because I didn't have time to do it earlier.
My moon looks terrible.
Your moon looks terrible? Join the club. My moon looks like a mostly eaten cookie. It is not very crescent shaped. Why does the zoom not know how to focus when I take a step back? I'm going to switch over to this camera so you guys can see what I'm doing as I'm drawing my steps here. The lighting is horrible with this camera too. I'm getting a new camera. Hopefully somebody's buying me one for Christmas.
I'm gonna do it like they haven't seen.
So I don't know. I'm going to put some stripes on like this section of the tree. It said 2 spots.
I'm gonna do it to one of
Yeah, I'm going to need 2 spots. But I might just tie it together with one more like section of stripes. I don't know. Maybe on this guy over here.
one of my squirrels.
Oh, I just noticed I'm kind of going the same angle on all my stripes too. You don't have to. You can go all sorts of which ways. I feel like I need some in the sky somewhere. Isn't there supposed to be another swirl?
Softer stuff at the bottom.
I'm not concentrating very, very tightly on like the realism of the sky. As long as it looks like there's objects in the sky. I mean, this is the part down at the bottom, this part that I had pre-drawn for you, or some of you that are drawing by hand. This is the part that really makes it look like the Starry Night, the cypress tree on the left-hand side. This was very unheard of compositionally when Van Gogh did his thing. Compositions were traditionally closed on the right-hand side. You didn't close a composition on the left-hand side. That made no sense aesthetically at the time of Expressionism. So that's one of the reasons why it was bold and notable when he painted this thing. So I've got my stripe. You know what? I'm going to put stripes on my moon. It's going to be a candy cane moon, I just decided. You thought your moon was bad. I'm making mine worse. Ha ha! My moon's got stripes. There we go. So I'm going to start painting. As I was saying, I really want to start painting. But before we start painting, we have to determine our color scheme. So this is where we're all going to start really going different directions. It's really going to be a fun, unique way to do this. So we're going to roll our dice to determine what our color scheme is. And I have honestly never done this in a painting lesson before. This is really what's going to force our creativity and force our hand to be all different, because we're all using different color schemes. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So if you roll a 1 for your next roll, I'm sure you're still working on this step. So you know what? Before I jump to the next step, I'm going to give you guys a second. I can see you're all frantically working. At least I can see that, right? It's hard for me to tell when you're ready to move on to the next step, but I can tell when you're working avidly. I've been a teacher long enough that I can see when my students are focused. Julie's got this though. Hey, Julie, you're done? You're all drawn out? You're ready to go? Can I see it?
Yeah. You want to see mine?
Yeah, can you get closer to the camera though? Oh, yeah, Julie froze as soon as I asked her to show. Can I see Angela's? Oh, it's too light to see. Dang it. Oh, I can see a little bit. Well, I'll have to see more when you start painting. It's a little too light to see on the zooms. Dang zooms. Kind of see it. I can kind of see it. I can see that you got it all drawn out and ready. Oh,
Okay.
Aunt Marge, I can't see yours at all.
Okay.
It just looks like a blank canvas. We gotta start painting so I can see. So okay, so now you see why I used the Sharpie to draw mine, so you can see what I was doing. Because that I think zoom purposely lowers the resolution on your camera, and then it also like does this smoothing thing. Like, look, I have any wrinkles. So zoom does something. It definitely cleans up the picture somehow. It uses artificial intelligence to fix the pixels. Because honestly, my pores don't look this good in real life. So let's get started painting. Let's get started painting, guys. Let's roll our dice. Who's got their dice? Shake it up. Let's get a good number for this next one. Come on, baby, a new pair of shoes. 4. I got a 4 again, which is turquoise and warm colors. All right, so if you got number 1, we're gonna do all warm colors, which is hopefully you guys know what warm colors are. Otherwise, we're gonna go back to elementary school. And I had one of you in elementary school, so I'm gonna pop quiz. Hi, Haley. What are your warm colors? Go.
Orange, red, and yellow, and yeah.
There's also many more in between, obviously, an infinite amount. But yeah, Haley knows. Red, orange, yellow, and everything in between. So you can even scoot to like the magenta range if you want to. Pinks, warm purples, even like warm greens kind of work with a warm color scheme. Like if you wanted to do like a lime green with a warm color scheme. So my warm color scheme example is my pinky orange one. This one got the orange, the warm treatment. So number 2 is similar to Van Gogh's colors, but brighter. So Van Gogh was a little dark, a little dull. Like I said, he was depressed at the end of his life. He was starting to go batty. So pretty much take his colors and get a little brighter with them. So that's pretty much what I did on this composition. Number three. Did anybody get a 3? Ooh, I hope somebody got a 3. Yes, and you're willing to do the 3? Yes. So 3 is half warm and half cool. So I'd like you to try to do warm colors on the left-hand side of your composition and cool colors on the right-hand side of your composition. So where they merge in between, you gotta be careful not to like get them, make sure that they're dry where they're touching. Otherwise, you're gonna get a bunch of muddy, icky colors in between where they're touching warm and cool. So I would say do all the warm side first, let it dry for a minute, and then do your cool side. That'll be a fun one. 4 is what I got, which is turquoise and warm colors. So there's only one example in my sheet that's got turquoise and warm colors. I'm gonna run through my examples here again too. So here is my sheet. Try to get this centered here. So C is the bright Van Gogh. A is Van Gogh's. E is the half warm, half cool. Now note that nobody did that yet. That is done with Photoshop, with graphic software. So if you are doing number 3 and you need help, you might need some tips from me, and I will gladly help you out of how to handle what's happening in the middle of that E. We've got H is kind of warm colors in solid. I'm going to do this turquoise and, again, it's mirrored image. Wow. Turquoise and warm colors. That's F. That's the one I'm going to do. 5 is sticking to Van Gogh's color scheme. So you're going to try to mix those same colors as Van Gogh. If you need help mixing any colors, feel free to shout out and ask. I will help you make your color scheme, mix your color scheme. And then the last one, if you got a 6, that's the rainbow colors. So try to make it as rainbowy as possible using the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple color scheme. So I'd love to see some rainbows throughout the sky, rainbows in the moon, in the stars, and even in the buildings. So it'd be really fun to try that if you got a number 6. Again, if you don't like what you rolled, feel free to re-roll. You don't have to stick with the choice. That's one of the beauties of art, that there are no rules. Nobody's gonna mark you down. Nobody's gonna even see you if you're cheating. Or you just pick the one you like best. Be like, hey, I really want warm colors. Screw the dice. I don't care what the dice says. Let's just do it. Let's just have fun. So I'm doing turquoise and warm colors, so I'm gonna get painted. I'm gonna start with turquoise. If you're doing Van Gogh's colors, you're gonna wanna use multiple different blues. Hopefully you got lots of different blues that you could use. Either blues mixed with purples or blues mixed with cyans if you don't have any different blues. Or mix your blues with some other colors. Try to make as many different hues of blues that you can. In the meantime, I'm going to get started painting. I'm going to put some colors in my palette. I got my handy dandy wet spritzer bottle over here that I'm going to spritz after I put all my colors in my palette. And please shout out if you got any question. What was that? I heard one. I heard a shout. What's up?
What's the spritzer for? The paint or the canvas?
Yeah, it's just for the paint. I mean, you could use it on the canvas too, but a lot of times it has undesired results after you start painting and you start spritzing on your canvas. It might start getting like little water spots. But I use it on my palette. So like once my palette starts to dry, and it's actually just, again, I can do it while I'm putting paint on there too. If my water starts coming out of here. But it just creates a nice fine layer of water over top of it so it doesn't dry out nearly as darn quickly as it would without. You'll notice that your acrylic paints will dry really fast as you start painting with them. So I'm just gonna put all my blues. I know my rule said turquoise. Do I have that blue yet? I'm gonna put all my colors in my palette just because I'm a colorful kind of guy. And my rule was turquoise and warm colors anyway, which is pretty much gonna be the spectrum regardless. So I'm just gonna have slightly fewer bluish purples and a little more orange in my sky than the normal Starry Night. So this is what I got going on my palette right now. And that's essentially what I see in the majority of these. Unless you end up going into that all warm range, then you're gonna add some magenta and some lime greens to this too. Hopefully that's not somebody trying to get in. No, not at the moment. All right. So I'm gonna start painting. It's hard to break the seal, but I'm just gonna go for it. And I'm just gonna start painting.
Do we start with swirls? We have to say what kind of style?
Yeah, we're gonna roll real quick first. Are you ready?
Oh,
You got your dice?
ready.
You got your brush?
I already rolled.
You already rolled? I got my brush, I got my
Yeah.
colors, I'm ready to roll. So, I'm rolling. All right, so, if you got a number 1, you're using short, impressionistic brush strokes. So very much like the Snoopy that's chilling behind me. Little short dabby dabs and jumping around your canvas. Number 2 is what I just rolled, which is paint flat colors in solid shapes, which is gonna be very difficult for me because I don't like to paint that style. So I'm gonna paint flat colors in solid shapes. And number 3, you're gonna concentrate on creating gradients on individual shapes and objects, like the swirls in the skies and like my example over here, where I've got lots of little gradients going across. That's what happened in this one. You can see that I did a lot of light blue to dark blue, a lot of yellow to white, a lot of yellow to orangish yellow, blues to different blues, just really practicing my gradients and practicing blending 2 colors together. So starting on the one side of the shape with one color, the other side of the shape with the other color, and lightly using brush strokes to blend the 2 together. It's really a good, fun practice technique for all of us painters, really. Number 4, if you got a number 4, use long, whimsical brush strokes. So as opposed to the Snoopy one, your strokes, each and every stroke is almost going to be as long as you can possibly make it with your brush stroke, or with your brush before you move on to the next stroke. So really long, impressionistic brush strokes. When we're painting our impressionistic brush strokes, whether you got number 1 or number 4, like the one I was just talking about, we really want to paint in the direction that we kind of drew these spiral lines. We kind of want to paint with the wind. And that's kind of our main goal when doing our brush strokes. So number 5, if you notice the trend, number 5s are kind of all like the original. So number 5 is trying to recreate the expressionistic or impressionistic strokes or willy-nilly strokes of Van Gogh. And then number 6 is use some of all of the above. How fun. I couldn't get as creative with that last one, so I said just pick. But really, I think it'd be good to try all those different techniques, especially if you've got the gall to. If you roll the 6 and you really want to practice, it'd really be good to practice all 5 of those techniques that I described above, just to try a bunch of different techniques, different strokes, to see what works the best for you. I assume that nobody here, I wouldn't even consider myself an expert artist. I'm still a practicing artist. I assume that everybody here is not an expert artist. So, we should all be practicing. So practice whatever stroke you rolled there. I got a number 2. And now I'm finally gonna start painting. Hallelujah. I'm painting flat, solid colors. Let me know what you are painting, what number you got there, what style you're gonna be painting in. See, already I'm doing like long strokes instead of doing solid flat colors, but we'll see how it turns out. Yeah, so what did everybody else get? I want to know. What did you roll? A 2?
Well, I did the stained glass, and I have to.
Stained glass kind of like lends itself to flat colors, although you could do the gradient thing in the stained glass too. If you look at example D in my printout here, you can see that a lot of those stained glass shapes are painted in with gradients, like it goes from one color to the next color. Or maybe you want to do both. Maybe do some flat solid colors and some fading from one color to the next. That way it's not so monotonous doing all one flat color that doesn't look like flat and cartoony when you're finished. Which is what I'm afraid that mine might look like by doing the flat color, by doing number 2. So what else? What other numbers did you guys get? What other techniques are you guys using? I want to know.
1.
1? So short impressionistic brush strokes. 1's good.
It's insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna try 1.
You're gonna try 1?
I got 4.
You know, I might just do a little bit of all of them to
4.
kind of show you some of the things. A 4? 4 was long whimsical. Okay, so long whimsical is pretty much the same as Van Gogh, only you're going longer with your brush strokes. So you can see how long these brush strokes, that's what I mean by long whimsical. And again, we're using that big brush, so we're gonna fill in the sky pretty quick with our paint. If you're doing more of the short impressionistic, more of the Van Gogh style, really you want like little short jabby strokes with brush, where you're putting your brush down and then picking it up right away. It creates a lot more movement. You can even see just from this little bit that I did in this example. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see a little better. This little bit that I did in my example, you can see that it creates so much more movement by having this brush stroke broken up into little shapes. It almost makes it look like the wind is blowing faster over there, where I'm using those dash strokes. So then I'm just laying my brush down and picking it back up, using kind of the shape of the brush as my guide, and leaving a gap between each of those brush strokes. We're not going to leave that gap. It's not going to be plain blank canvas underneath. I'm going to go back in with a second color after that dries, but I want to have that gap in there just to break up the colors in the canvas. The main difference is that we're using acrylic paints, at least I think most of us are, and Van Gogh used oil paints. So his paints took like forever to dry, so it was kind of natural where his colors touched and bled together. He could make it really thick and juicy, whereas if we were to make it really thick like Van Gogh was doing, it would just be a mess, and we'd never finish within 2 hours. We'd try to like work it all together, and it just wouldn't work. The benefit of using acrylic is that they dry really fast, and we can do multiple layers and multiple steps and get done in 2.5 hours. I don't think Van Gogh painted his Starry Night in 2.5 hours. So, but I highly, highly recommend, whether you're a beginner artist, an intermediate artist, or an advanced artist, if you have not tried oil paints yet, to try it. To be honest, I haven't used them since my Skylie was born, just because they're a little bit of a hazard to have, just because oil paints are made with real metals and cadmium and cobalt and stuff like that, so it's just dangerous to have around the house. And the medium that you use with it is somewhat toxic. The fumes are coming off of it are not good to be breathing in, and I don't have good enough ventilation in my house to be doing oil paints. But, however, that being said, if you do have good enough ventilation and there are no babies in your house, or children or small children that can accidentally get the paint in their mouth, I highly recommend using oil paints, because the texture of them, the color of them, the way they work is so dramatically different than acrylic paints. It almost will blow your mind if you're really used to using acrylic paints and you switch to oil paints and you see the difference between the two. It's really a world of difference. And color-wise, those oil paints are just dramatically more colorful. The red that you can get from an oil paint compared to the red that you get from an acrylic paint is worlds of difference. So anyway, I'm supposed to be painting flat colors, so I did a bunch of short strokes, a bunch of long strokes to kind of show those of you who got number 1 and number 4. Real quick, I'm just going to show an example of what I meant by filling in with a gradient. So if you're filling in with a gradient, you kind of got to pick your shape that you're filling in. So I'm just going to use this weird crisscross shape that's in between my 2 stars here. So I'm going to paint like half of it the one color. And I've got quite a bit of water in my paint right now too, that helps the fluidity, helps it fly off my brush a little faster, helps it last a little longer, so I don't have to refill my brush as often. And then I'll take my second color, which is going to be this blue over here. I'm going to take this other blue, and I'm going to start on the left side of that shape. And I wiped off my brush on a paper towel in between, so I didn't have so much of that other color on there. I didn't bother cleaning it off all the way because they're such close colors. But they're 2 different blues, 2 dramatically different blues. So I paint the 2 sides in, the 2 different colors like that, and then I'll use really, really light strokes in between the 2 colors, very, very lightly with just the tip of my brush. Because it's really easy to change the color that's on your brush by just using the tip of your brush. It's a really good blending technique. So I'm touching it really, really lightly and blending those 2 colors together.
Yeah.
And voila, that's how you're going to do a gradient. If you've got the gradient, which is number 3, if you roll the number 3, you're going to be doing a lot of that. Now you guys are all busy. Now definitely nobody's going to be talking because you guys are all working. And you're not jabberjawses like me while you paint. See, that's really the sole reason that I can do Mr. Paint Party, because I don't mind jabberjawing while I'm painting. It's not distracting to me. I can just blah, 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 blah the whole time. Do you guys have any questions? Does anybody want to show off? Does anybody want to tell me what they're doing? Gosh, I'm so...
ask you, I number 2 where it's use the flat colors into solid shapes. But my color scheme is half warm and half cool. So how do I?
Ooh, that's a good one. So you know the shapes in the middle, I would say do like a neutral color on those. So like grays, like grayed down blues, grayed down oranges. But I would still stick with that color scheme. Maybe do like super cool colors starting on the one side with those shapes, and then working as you work towards the middle to kind of gray them down as you're working towards the middle. So start with your yellows and oranges and reds, and just slowly tap your like blue and mix it. Start to muddy up your colors as you're working your way to the right. Like tap the blue and add it into your reds and your oranges just to muddy them up, dirty them up. So as you're working to the right, they become more brownish, more grayish as you get towards the middle, and then stop, and then work from the right side with your cool colors, and use that same technique. So you use your really bright blues and bright greens on the right-hand side, mix in with lots of whites, making them nice and bright, and then as you're working to the left, you're adding the complementary color, which would be like red or orange to your blues and greens, and making them browner and duller as you're working back towards the middle, until where you get into the middle, they're more of like your grays. If you can make a gray, if you've got black, if you don't have black, I'll help you make one. And that's nice. Do you think that suggestion works?
No.
No? Do you want to show me what you got?
Well,
You want to roll a different number? You don't have to stick with the number.
well, luckily I had a stripe for one of my things.
Yeah, okay. So it broke up some of your shapes?
So I just kind of did, I'm going to alter yellow and green for that. So that way it's kind of a mix between the cool and dark, or cool and warm.
So do you need more shapes? Or do you think you have enough shapes?
Like my problem is like there's that big solid color, black background. How
I think for the bigger shapes, if you got bigger ones, do the gradient. Cheat and do the gradient on those ones.
Okay. I'll try.
I give you permission to cheat. In any case, I'm so used to walking around the classroom and looking at what everybody's doing. It's tough. I feel like my hands are tied and I can't see anybody. At least I know that you're all working and engaged, though, right? That you're all doing your thing. Wow, you guys are working hard. Am I working you too hard? Don't work too hard, guys. It's supposed to be a relaxing Friday evening thing. If it takes into tomorrow, it takes into tomorrow. You don't have to finish it tonight. All right, so I'm going to try to concentrate on keeping my stars brighter than the background. I guess is the only main thing, no matter which way you're painting it, to make sure that there's more white or brighter colors on your stars than on the whole rest of it. And my goal was originally turquoise and warm colors. So I gotta get back to my warm colors and turquoises over here. But does that explain enough of the couple different strokes that we're working on for you guys? Does that, yeah? Cool. Nods, thumbs ups. All right, hey, that's good.
I know what I'm doing.
All right, so keep on painting. I'm gonna keep on painting. I noticed that I need some more warm colors in my palette, so I'm gonna throw some magenta and some red in my palette as well. Ah!
What does that mean?
Oh, an avalanche. Too many paints. I'm going to attempt to use one palette the whole time. And I know I said that during the last party too, but I'm going to try. I'm going to see how it goes.
That's okay.
So I'm going to do a little more of my turquoise. I got a really nice turquoise. This is actually like the exact turquoise I want. It looks actually amazing on camera, more amazing than it does in real life. It almost looks like it's glowing. But it's a little duller in real life. I'm going to pop to my other camera, which is more realistic, but it's also not as high res.
Love open interpretation.
So there you go. That's what I got so far. Lots of turquoise. I'm going to try to go over some of my wispy strokes that I made there and make them more solid, because I was supposed to do solid stuff here. So I'm going to make this a little more solid. I need to clamp my canvas down.
Black.
Clamp this bad boy down here.
just don't have.
All right. Oh, and I was mentioning that you guys could take your time because within 2 days I'm going to send you the replay of this video. So if you get lost or stuck or your internet cuts out or whatever, your cat jumps up on your table and starts peeing on your canvas, you can always watch the replay, start over again, take your time, pause me, fast forward the boring parts, rewind me, start again. I think it's going to be a really invaluable tool to have these videos for you available online to watch for future reference if you want to go back and watch it. Or if right after you're finished you want to do it again. No, actually, it's not going to be available right after, so I take that back. It's going to take me a day or two to get on the YouTube.
I like dare you to give it to him.
What are you daring me to do, Jamie?
I love you. I made you some art because I love you. And then look at him standing there.
All right, so I'm trying to do some solid colors. I am trying to change up my colors too, and I'm leaving some spots for my warm colors. So if you did a I forgot what number I rolled again already. Number four for the colors. I should have caught track. 4 was turquoise and warm. If you got a turquoise and warm like I did, I'm going to pause between my cool colors and warm colors. I'm leaving some spots left over for my warm colors to chill. And I suggest you do the same kind of, if you're doing 2 color different things, even in the Van Gogh one, like to pause between doing your yellow and your blue. That way you don't end up with a big ass green sky. That yellow and blue are going to make your, if they mix together, they're going to turn green. So to either do yellow first or blue first, wait in between, and then attack the other color, which is what I'm going to do too. So I'm going to do all my turquoises and blues first, and then I'm going to attack my warm colors. I'm going to leave plenty of space for my warm colors within my stars and within my moon. How you guys doing? Good?
Okay.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Didn't sound like a good okay.
I got the stained glass, so it's taking quite a while.
Ah, all right. So you are moving to a smaller brush, right? You're not trying to do that with a big ass brush, right?
No.
Okay, cool. Tip would go for anybody that's doing anything that's more detailed to pull out a smaller brush. I got a couple on my wayside here in case I need one. I've got one about half the size and then one more detailed pointy brush.
Because there's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do. We can always save more. When it's time to move on the next step, you can always save those steps for later. It's all good.
I need an adult. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so mine's not going to be solid shapes. There's no way. Not with trying to rush it and throw colors in. But I'm going to add a little more turquoise over here. My turquoise is more of a cyan. Some people call it cyan. Some people call it turquoise. What is the real difference? I'm not sure. I think cyan is a light turquoise, technically. Feel free to argue with me. I don't know. Is that right? You think that's right, man? All right, so I painted some of my swirls, and I tried to stick to solid colors, but my color ended up changing naturally just because I mixed it a couple different times, and it just ended up different coming off my brush. Sometimes my brush has a little bit more water on it. Sometimes it has a little less water on it. Again, I'm going to try to use the same palette. So I'm cleaning off the spot I just was here.
Only because you liked it so well would be the point, right? Like,
And I didn't quite understand these palettes when I first got them, when I was first introduced to art. But now I do. Now I get it. It makes a lot more sense now. So we got this big flat space here, which would make like no sense to a non-artist. Like why would you even have a flat area to put paint? The pockets all make sense. Why would you have this flat surface to paint on? Well, it's because we don't want a big gobbing pile. A big gob pile is really hard to change the color. You'll notice that every time I mix a new color, I don't try to mix it in one of these puddly containers. I pull a little bit of that color out and I spread it out real thin on here. So it looks like a big puddle, but it's a real thin, small puddle just spread out a whole bunch. And by doing that, it's really easy to change the color just by adding a little bit of another color. Really easy to change it from a hue to hue, lighten it, darken it, and whatnot. So I'm actually falling in love with this palette a little bit more and more every time I use it.
Oh, this is turning into the world's gayest Van Gogh.
Yes. Ooh, rainbow? We got a rainbow-y one?
Kind of, yeah. I was saying it was like the most pride celebration.
Like a gay pride starry night? Hey, go for it.
What's happening over here?
You hashtag that gay pride when you're done with it. I'm sure it's gonna get some likes and some shares.
I will, for sure.
You do a rainbow.
For sure. Did anybody else get rainbow?
Me.
Oh yes, it's looking good. You got like a literal rainbow right there. Look at that. How are you doing that?
I don't know.
You got some kind of fancy creative tool over there, don't you?
Are you talking to me or?
Yeah, yeah. How'd you do that rainbowy thing?
Suddenly it got real gay over here. I mean, that's surprised.
That's amazing.
What?
And Pam's video is just like frozen in one spot. Hopefully she didn't disconnect or anything. She's still there? Okay.
I'm still here. I don't know what happened.
Your video is just like frozen on like a half of a Christmas decoration or something. Or
Yeah, I was told I have to take a lot off my computer. It's an old one.
All right. Ooh,
Still
Angela. Oh, cool. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's so neat. Oh, those magentas are killer. Are they that bright in real life, or are they just that bright over Zoom? Yeah? Oh, man, that looks cool.
Yeah, they're pretty bright, and I love pink, so like,
Dang, that's
I'm all over it.
awesome. So you're gonna have to bring some other warm colors to distinguish the difference between the ground from the sky. But those colors are phenomenal. That looks cool. It reminds me of my Starry Night. Oh, actually, my sky is more orange, and my ground is more pink. So yours will probably be like the opposite of mine. So as I was saying before, I'm waiting some drying time between. I painted in all my blue first, and then I'm gonna go in with some of my warm colors. It's gonna take a couple minutes before we move on to step 5. Step 5 is when we start painting in the ground and the homes down here. So we still got a couple minutes to go in the sky still, about 15 minutes to stay on schedule I think we can take to finish up our sky. If you're not done with your sky, that's okay. Again, you can take your time over the weekend to finish it, or put it in the corner until you're ready, until after Christmas, and you get another free minute because you know you're gonna be busy as heck until like January 2nd. It's like a whirlwind this time of year, isn't it? Even during COVID, I got thousands of things to do for Christmas. Mostly painting commissions, drawing commissions and painting commissions.
Yeah.
But
But it did in Breaking Bad.
Are we aiming to finish our class?
no, you don't have to finish during class. Again, if you don't finish, I'm gonna put this recording. I'm gonna send you an email with a link to this recording, and you can finish at your leisure. That link's not gonna come to you till probably Sunday night, though. So, however, the Zoom meeting is till 9:30 technically, but Zoom's not gonna end it. So if you want to hang out and discuss and socialize with me afterwards for as long as you want, I can stay on here until you're done. I think last week I stayed on till like 10:30 with everybody. Julie hung out with me for quite some time. All those girls stayed on for longer than that. Yeah, we were on till like 10:30, just chit-chatting and gabbing, and some of us were painting, some of us weren't, but it's all good. But yeah, if you want to hang out afterwards, or if you want to cut out at 9:30 because it's past your bedtime, yeah, look out for that video link on Sunday. All right, you got to bring the camp.
What can I do?
You got to fill it in. What do you got going on? So you're doing the rainbow thing. Are you using some kind of like fancy rainbow brush?
No, I'm using a brush.
Wow, that looks cool. I really like that bigger, bolder line that I see so far. You got this big, bold stroke coming in here from the left-hand side. I would just say do more of that.
Yeah.
Just do more of that all throughout the sky. Just keep going with that. And if you don't finish with that before we make it to the next step, then just kind of like pause where you're at and then just move on with us. And you can finish your rainbows later.
Looks really good.
I think it looks weird.
It does look really good.
I don't know.
We're fine.
Okay.
Oh, Heather and Jamie really have the paint party atmosphere simulated perfectly. You even got like the right easels and everything. Those easels aren't poking the back of your canvases, are they? You got those arms up all the way?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're not banging the back of your canvas.
Oh, is mine? Does it look like mine is poking?
It does. It did a little bit. Does it got it though?
See,
long as
Dan,
it-
what's up?
See? No? See?
See?
Those are the hazards. Those hazards of those little tiny easels. They like to poke your canvases if you're not careful. Although this easel's been trusty, just like my bottle of all over there. This easel's been with me since 98, I want to say. And it's about done though. It's really got not much life left to it. I've tightened all the bolts and everything, and it's still, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much longer it lasts. Another Christmas idea, honey. Wink, 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 wink.
Hey, what do we do about the sides? Do we
What
do
about the
anything
sides?
with this?
You mean like painting the sides of the canvas?
Yeah.
You can if you want to. You know, I mean, I look around the room at my other examples, and you know, the ones that I did paint the sides on, I mean, they look a little better hanging on the wall without a frame, but I don't think it's not 100% entirely necessary. But I mean, as long as if you're ahead of schedule, I'd say, if you're ahead of schedule and you got plenty of time and you've got some extra paint on your palette, go for it. But I wouldn't say it's necessary. Plus 16 by 20 frames are super cheap. I picked a nice economical size for you guys so you can easily find a frame for this thing after you're done. So I wouldn't really waste too much time painting the sides, especially if you're trying to do it in the same style as you're doing the rest of it. Like you could do a separate dice game for just the sides. You know, I did think of something to do with your 20-sided dice, by the way. That was for if anybody asks what color should I paint something. That's what I'm gonna use that 20-sided dice for.
Okay.
So I got a list of 20 different colors.
What color is Dungeons and Dragons?
And what was that?
Oh, I said, what color is Dungeons and Dragons? Isn't that what the 20-sided dice is?
Yes, absolutely. Somebody got my aunt into playing Dungeons and Dragons over there.
I love it.
So
That's Teresa.
that is Teresa. Teresa got you into it, huh? All right. I just realized I don't have any white on my palette. I don't even know how that happened. How I even got this far without any white. So I think I left it long enough for that blue to dry. I'm gonna flip back to this other camera so you guys see what I'm doing for the next step. I'm gonna add lots of warm colors to go along with my turquoise. At least that's what my numbers said. That's what my dice said anyway. So I'm gonna listen to my dice. I'm gonna start by putting a lot of white in the middle of my stars, so I know that light is preserved no matter what I add to it. And on top of this like moon section, just so I know that even if I put like red on top of this, it's gonna end up being like a pink and brighter than the rest of it. So I don't accidentally lose any of my stars. So I'm just putting a lot of white on those guys.
Oh my God.
And then I'm gonna start adding my warm colors. So I rolled a 4 of warm colors. I'm gonna try to stick with red, orange, yellow, maybe a little magenta, and some purple if I'm feeling up to it. We'll see how it turns out with those few. I'm gonna start with a yellow, and I'm not using any color. I'm really not a fan of using any color straight from the tube, especially when we're painting something so sophisticated like Starry Night, to mix it with something. Either your yellow, mix it with some white, your blue, mix it with a different blue or just another color, just so it's not straight from the tube, just so it looks a little more sophisticated. So somebody can look at that color and not really pinpoint exactly what color it is, that they can point at it and be like, is that like cyan mixed with something? Like you really can't say that that's true yellow or that's true red or true blue. But there's so much color in there that we call it sophisticated color. So I'm throwing some of my more sophisticated yellow into here. And again, I'm trying to paint flat, but you know that I have a really hard time doing that. That doesn't work for me. So I'm gonna try to paint it flat and cartoony, like my step said. But again, you're gonna be following what your dice roll said. So if yours said do it more whimsical, short strokes, long strokes, and your colors, rainbowy, warm, cool. I guess my sky kind of turned out naturally cool just because of all the turquoise that I used at first, but I'm really gonna try to warm it up as much as I can with lots of different warm colors. I'm gonna try not to cover this up completely because I still want my stripes on my moon over there. But I'm just moving from color to color. So I'm just starting with my yellows and putting my yellows in everywhere, and then I'm gonna move on to my other colors. Again, acrylic paints dry so fast that it's really hard to blend them. To blend them, you gotta use a couple different strokes. In this case today, we're doing a lot of dabbing strokes together and putting strokes on top of each other. Like I just put those yellow strokes on top of the blue strokes to make it look more finished and fulfilled, because they're so dry that they can't blend together. So another way to do that, to do blending with drier paint, is to do a dry brushing technique. We went over this with a couple classes. The last class I think we did, which is where you let your brush run out of paint. And as your brush runs out of paint, you could use that. I'm going to do it in my gradient section so you can kind of see an example. That as your brush runs out of paint, you can use a dry brush technique, and like, even though it's drying out and it feels like the brush is crying out to you, fill me up, fill me back up with paint. But to use that dry brush and use some pressure on that brush to kind of squeeze out the rest of that drying paint, and use that as a blending tool from color to color. And my paint is all dry, so it ends up working pretty good blending color to color in this sense, in this example. Another way to blend two colors together with paint that's already drying on you that you can't help is to use some what?
Dad walked by. It's his birthday.
Oh, he did? Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Hey! So that's my aunt and my uncle and my cousin over here. It's my uncle's birthday out in Missouri. So everybody wish happy birthday to my uncle. Happy birthday, Uncle Mike.
Happy birthday, Uncle Mike.
You should be painting with us, Uncle Mike. How did you not get a brush in his hands? You should at least make him paint a stroke or two.
Over and say hi, Dad.
Well, hello.
You should at least paint a stroke or two, Uncle Mike. Force a paintbrush into his hands.
Here, you have to go fast.
No, I don't. You guys are doing fine. If it's architect, I can do it. If it's curves and beat people, forget it.
You make it better. You make it better. Put your birthday touch on it. All right, so I'm trying to fill it in with solid shapes. It's not working out for me because I don't paint in solid shapes. My brush likes to go where it wants to go, but I'm doing my best. And that's all I can ask of myself, and that's all I can ask of you guys too. Just try your best. Do your best. If it comes out good, you hang it up on your wall. If it comes out bad, you paint it black and you put it in the attic. Nope. And you don't have to tell anybody. Nobody has to know except for us. Nobody has to know about it. So I did a lot of yellow, a lot of light yellow. You can't see it in some spots. My color's a little bit washed out, but I whitened it down a whole bunch. Would you mind giving me a water? Awesome sauce. And now I'm going to add some more different warm colors in the spots that I left white. I'm going to do some like peaches and some pinks. Maybe even I'll get bold and do some reds in there too. We'll see. But it's all about inspiring other artists. So if you want to show and tell, shout out so we can see your artwork and everybody else get inspired by what you're doing too. Since everybody's doing something incredibly different at this step already. We're only 4 steps in and we're already so incredibly different. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Teresa, that is really cool. So you got stripes on your one thing, you got lime green to yellow on that other thing. Oh my gosh, that is working. I love the orange next to the green too. That's a good choice.
Really pretty.
Good choice. Anybody else want to show and tell? Oh, Haley. Ooh, Haley. I love it. Can you push it just a little smidgen closer to the camera? Wowzers. All those blues and purples. Oh my gosh, and you got it going like over the tree. I love it. I love it. I love how the sky's going over the tree. It's freaking genius. It's freaking genius. I wish I would have thought of that. It's brilliant. The sky going over the top of the tree. I might steal your idea. That's so cool.
I can't see it.
You didn't see it? Too bad. So sad. She'll show you again later. She's worked hard back at work again.
Well, I need to see her work.
Haley, can you hold it up again?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I don't know if she knows how to switch cameras. Hey, Marge, do you know how to switch cameras? Can you see her at all? Does she have to talk to show up?
Hello.
No, I don't know. Might be a lost cause.
That's up.
Well, tell you
It's a
what.
lost cause.
If can Teresa, can you see Haley's picture at all or no?
I mean, I can exit the full screen mode.
Oh, see, it's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt to see anybody else's artwork. Now I'm gonna embarrass you, Haley, so they can look at your artwork. So as soon as they get there, they're gonna have to show it again.
Hold it up now.
Because I'm raving about how her sky is going over her tree. She just like went boldly right over the top of her tree, and that's gonna turn out so cool in the end. I think anyway.
I see Danny's.
Up at the top. You can see Angela. You can
Thank you, Haley. Thank you for sharing.
Wait, hold it up.
All right, so I'm gonna do some more warm colors in mine before we run out of time for our sky here. We're just about out of time for our sky. So I'm throwing some more warm colors. I'm throwing some oranges in. I'm gonna pan back for a second so you guys can see all the crazy stuff I'm doing on my palette. I work and mix colors so fast on my palette that I forget to change cameras, and you guys can't even see what I'm doing, and that's not good. I want you guys to see what's up. So, oh, I dirtied my clean water already too. So I got like a peachy, orangish, yellowish orange here. And I'm gonna use that to start filling in some of my gaps here. My main goal right at the moment is to fill in. Who somebody's flagging me down? What?
No.
Jamie's raising her hand. What's up, Jamie?
Like, overly excited about my ridiculous looking art.
You are? You're getting excited about it? Dude, if you're getting really excited, feel free to get up and show me. I want to see.
Okay.
So right now my main goal is to fill in any white, like blank canvas. If it's white because I purposely made it white.
It's
yeah. White. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. I love your color choices.
It's wild, yeah. Very
These
like
blues and purples. The moon I would go over again after it dries, pop the brightness. I can see you got a little overly gray there. But once, let it dry, put a layer of whitish yellow over top of it, pop that moon again one more time. But I love the colors that you chose in the lower left there. The blues and the purples and the red. Oh my God. That's cool. You're supposed to do the sky first.
I don't follow directions very well, Dan. You know me.
Dan, I do. Dan, I do.
Who's saying I do?
Me, Julie. I'm doing exactly what you're doing. So
Yes.
can you do the close up?
Absolutely.
I have no imagination.
Supposed to force the creativity upon you. Force it. So I'm just filling in my white spot. I still got a little bit of white left. I'm filling in the blank spots of my canvas essentially. I'm liking that I can still see my Sharpie lines underneath pretty clearly. I think that's kind of cool. I'm just filling in some solid shapes here. Trying not to get too brushy because that's what my dice told me to do. I tell you what, my brush really wants to be brushy. It really wants to be impressionistic no matter what I do. Which is good, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna throw a little bit of red on here too. A little bit. My little grabber is in the way though. So I'm just about done with my sky. We're gonna move on to those houses next. I'm gonna roll the dice again. See what I get for the style of houses. Hopefully it works with my style of sky that I got over here. If not, I might take artistic license and change what the dice say. We will see. I'm liking this combination though, this turquoise and warm color combination. This is kind of cool. Anybody else got Christmas songs stuck in their head?
Jingle bells.
Yeah?
Oh no, I've got what did I say? Blame It on the Rain? Blame It on the Rain. I have Blame It on the Rain by Milli Vanilli in my head. I can't explain it.
You know, I actually referenced that in one of my paint parties, and I don't think anybody caught it.
Oh gosh, see? I'm telling you.
That's great.
Collection.
I got like My Little Pony Christmas carols playing in my head. How great is that, huh? So I'm filling in my spots. With these spots in the stars, I want nice bright colors, so I'm making like some bright pinks and bright peaches. Which, you know, I really like a nice skyly peach.
Aw, Skyly Pete.
So yeah, that's what my baby is named after. The warm color of the sky as the sun sets, that skyly peach. Not to confuse with sky blue. So I got some nice peach in there. Just work some peach into my. I want it to be like more of a sunsetty starry night. So I'm gonna put some more peaches and pinks in here, I think.
Red blue and sky blue.
Are you serious?
I think so. Oh my god. Remember, I'm an expert.
No, not only
There we go.
client, but I'm also the president.
As long as you're confident with your choices.
Got their comfort and course.
As long as you're confident, you know, there are no mistakes, just happy little accidents, like Bob Ross says, right? Just as long as you're confident with that mistake, and you say, hey, you know, I did that on purpose. It's going to be a great work of art in the end. So at this halfway point, you know, it's hard to look at a work of art and say that looks good. In fact, you know, I'm looking back at mine and probably thinking some bad thoughts about my career choices. But, you know, at a halfway point in a work of art, it's, you know, you're not supposed to judge it at this point. An artwork is never done until those final touches are on there. And sometimes an artwork will look like poo until you get those final touches on there. So don't be discouraged at any point if yours looks like poop. It is always rescuable, no matter what state it is in. And contrary to what I said previously about painting it black and putting it in the attic, you can always paint it white and start again. So there could be that ugly mistake underneath, the ugly mistake of a painting, where you learn so much from the mistakes that you made that the painting that you put on top of it ends up being a national treasure. Boy, am I good at exaggerating. So I have like these crazy stripes on my moon, so I moved on to like this half-size brush. It's a flat brush, just like I was using before, but it's not quite as wide because I'm going to fill in some of these smaller areas that I have left over. And I'm going to try to fill in every last ounce of my sky so I can move on to my ground comfortably knowing that my sky is just about finished, or at least to a stopping point where I'm ready to move on. So I said candy cane. So I'm literally gonna paint my moon in candy cane. I'm gonna do red and white stripes on my moon.
Right amount of like stress.
Or something similar.
Like this has been so fun.
We're gonna see how it goes.
Definitely.
Yeah. But then I'm like, ooh.
If you don't want to talk aloud, feel free to ask me comments or questions in the chat. I will answer your chat questions if you have any questions and you don't feel like speaking up. I don't expect every painter with me to be an extrovert. I assume some artists are introverts. You don't have to speak out loud. If you want to, you can chat me in the chat box for any reason whatsoever. Or if you just don't want to be, your voice doesn't want to be recorded, because I am recording this event, so you guys can watch it at your leisure later. I don't know what color I just mixed. I didn't even mean to do that. I made like an ugly blue, so I'm just putting this ugly blue over here.
I would be like, hey, things in my feelings.
And I'm rinsing off my brush. That was not the color I was trying to make. Oh, you guys didn't even see my mistake because I'm on the other camera. Well, I made an awful color, to be honest. It's like a gray blue, and that's not the color I was going for. I was like looking for a purple.
Right. Yeah. My dad. I lived with my dad for a couple years. Yeah.
There we go. I'm using some bright magenta with some white now. I'm making a nice bright pink. I'm gonna jazz up some of these spots now. I know my rules said to be more.
I mean, clearly,
To be more flat solid colors, but I can't do it. I need to break up these shapes at least a little bit. So I'm putting some color in these bad boys. Some, not some color, some brush strokes. I can't just do all one color. I have to.
Then you would like.
I have to be a little artistic. So here's my candy cane moon. I got pink candy cane stripes on the moon.
The other times he like can't.
There we go.
And then my
I like it. It's cute.
I'm the kind of.
It's seasonal. It looks like candy.
Like.
I like it. In fact, my whole sky is starting to look a little like candy.
Farmers would be like, you know.
With all these bubblegum pinks and stuff that I'm using.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I need to use a little bit more red to kind of punch it up, pop it up.
Right.
I guess I'm in touch with my feminine side tonight. Painting with all you ladies. Well, this beautiful pink I have in my artwork.
Right. We talked about like how the first started.
It's so pretty. Are yours coming out pretty too or not? Coming out bold, ugly, gray? Are we making progress? Are we getting like at least halfway through the sky?
I mean, he's more than, he's a little shyer and stuff. He's just like.
Who's holding theirs up? I didn't see. Wait, hold on. Go back. Pam, hold it up again. Oh, you're doing the Van Gogh. Oh, it looks wonderful.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's Van Gogh. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work.
Oh yeah, when he dropped off Christian.
I love Haley's color scheme too. It's starting to creep into your camera there. Your purples and your blues. I love it. I love that scheme. I gotta see what Heather's doing. Heather's been secretive the whole time. Oh man, Haley, you've had some good art teachers in the past or something. Haley, what did you go to school for? Where are you going to school for? Your college degree?
I'm in school right now, biology major.
Which kind of teacher?
Biology.
Yeah? Oh, cool. Oh, I love biology. That's so awesome.
Yeah, but I'm trying to go into environmental science in the fall, hopefully.
Yeah, with fingers crossed, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do want your college experience to be a college experience, not sitting at home experience.
But it's a work in progress. In the meantime, I've had a lot of time to do a lot of my hobbies, which has been nice.
Yeah, you picked a good one.
Did you see how I just presumed you're going to college? Just because I know how smart of a cookie you are.
That's very sweet of you. It's okay.
Well, yeah, this girl's going to college, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly.
I think it's beautiful.
I love it. I love it. You know, this looks better in camera than it does in real life. It looks really good on camera. Woo-wee. This pink swirl. Boy, oh boy. That really pops on camera. I like it.
I like it.
I don't know what I'm doing with this thing on top, though. This is where I was demonstrating the brushiness over here. I might smooth that out with something.
Yeah.
I might just go over that with a coat of white and see where it goes. Let some pinks naturally happen. Yeah, I didn't like it. It didn't turn out too brushy, and I got no other brushy sections on this thing.
Shame.
All right, there we go.
It was good. It was very good.
And I noticed I didn't paint my bottommost cloud. I don't know if anybody else left their bottom cloud. I left my bottom cloud like completely blank down here. Yeah, this is supposed to be cloud down here, I think.
You know, I guess.
I'm not sure what crazy Van Gogh was thinking, but I mean, it might be a cloud. I think it's a cloud. So I'm gonna fill this in with some of the colors that I'm already using here. Maybe I'll do a gradient going all the way across just to create something interesting on my painting. My painting looks a little dull right now. It looks a little too dull and pastel-y. But maybe this is just the pastel version of Van Gogh Starry Night. This is the cheery version, the opposite.
Yeah, it was way before COVID.
So I'm mixing in some other colors as I'm going across, some more orange and some pink, red, I mean. And I'm gonna start on the left-hand side with this color. Yeah, that's a good color. I like that color. And I'm gonna blend these two colors together in the middle. Don't touch my new shirt. Oh, I almost got paint on my new shirt.
This is where I'm kind of at right now.
Yeah. Why am I wearing a new shirt while I'm painting? That's another question. I don't know.
Well, question, Dad.
Yeah. What's up?
I said, good question, Dad. Why are you wearing a new shirt?
Cause it had colors in it.
Yeah.
Is that a good enough excuse? It had colors, but Mom, it had colors. And I wanted to wear. All right, so there is my nice even gradient going across. Ooh, look how pretty that gradient is. Oh, all the way across. I did lose somebody, huh? Hopefully she hops back on. All right, well, I'm going to switch to the other camera so I can see if it looks any different in this camera. That's not very accurate. Oh, well, they're both very inaccurate. So what are you going to do? But you can see I'm just about done with my sky. Hopefully you guys are getting there too. I'm going to move on to the next step very shortly.
Hey, Dan, Teresa lost her connection. She's trying to get it back.
All right. Do I just need to let her back in?
Possibly, yeah. She's gone from the room. I don't know. She said they were trying to reconnect.
Okay. She didn't just give up?
I'm on the phone with her. So
Okay.
we're talking over the phone and through here doing this.
That's a good way to do it. I like that. That's smart. So because mine looks so flat and dead, I just needed to add a few more swirls into my thing here. I just got these big empty white spots here that aren't doing anything, so I'm just going to liven it up a little bit, a few more swirls, just to bring it to life.
Can you hook us up back to the internet, please?
And I'm really using some flat colors to create my shapes. I'm really trying not to be too brushy because of my dice roll, but
Can you hook us up back to the internet, please?
what was that? They weren't talking to me. It's okay.
I'm talking to you.
You were? What'd you say?
Now I am.
What's up?
Hi, I'm having fun.
Are you?
Yeah, it's Jamie.
How's it working? Is it looking good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Put more white and yellow on my moon, so.
You know, I think I'm starting to rescue mine too. I wasn't happy with it like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But I think I like where it's going here. These spots still look a little dull to me. These bare white spots.
They're very nice, yeah.
So maybe some orange. I don't feel like I have enough orange. I'm gonna throw some orange in here, a little yellow. And bring some orangish yellow. And these are the kind of decisions you gotta make that I'm forcing you to make through this creative process that we're using. Doing a step-by-step painting, you usually don't have to make these creative decisions like, what color should I use in this step, or how should I merge this color with this color? Those are those problem-solving steps that help you become a better artist, help you become a better creative thinker. It'll help you on your normal day-to-day job becoming a better problem solver, no matter what your job is. So not only are we relaxing, we're becoming smarter and better people. That all our bosses need to give us raises when we're done with this.
Financially for you guys? Or?
I'm gonna say like doing it.
Painting brings financial security, wellness, and it keeps the COVID away.
And I can continue to teach you about contract work.
Well, when are we going to advertise that? Online painting parties help keep COVID away.
Yeah.
Numbers.
That'd be a fun pitch, right? That's a good way to angle it.
What's what? And so last time I got paid, it was like
One positive.
my first 2
All right, I put a little swirl there. Don't know if I like it. I'm going with it. I'm going with it.
Last 2 weeks, I doubled, right?
Yeah.
But not everybody paid because that's the funny thing.
There we go.
Hey, Dan, will you let Teresa back in?
Yes, Blues, absolutely. Yes, Bluesly. Oh, it just
Thank
automatically
you.
come. You're automatically allowed back in if you were in before.
Oh,
Oh, you
good.
let her in. Thank you.
Maybe in 2 weeks.
You're back. You're back, and you're better than ever.
I'll, like,
You know why? Because Uncle Mike's face is frozen on the screen. It's priceless. Yes. Huh?
pattern. I'm also
All right, so I'm gonna make my final touches of my sky, and we're gonna move on to those houses before it gets too late. So I'm gonna throw a little bit of red here, a little bit of red there, a little swirl here, a little swirl there. Again, you don't have to finish up as fast as I do. I want to move on reasonably. I might go back and touch it up some more when we're wrapping up, but I want to move on to my next roll of the dice. We did like 4 rolls rapid fire, and we haven't rolled in like half an hour. So it's time. Let's do this. Let's do our sky. Let's do our ground and our tree and see what comes of it. So we're doing the styles of homes next. Remember, we're carrying the same color scheme that we had from round 1 into our ground down here. If you roll a 1, you're going to add some swirls and spirals into the foreground down here. If you roll a 2, you're going to paint flat colors and solid shapes. 3, concentrate on creating gradients and individual objects. I know there's lots of little teeny tiny stuff in there, and that's what's going to take you into the weekend if you get gradients on this step where you're painting little gradients on all these little things here. Number 4, I guess it's kind of similar, but it's don't put any 2 colors next to each other. So you're going to end up with lots of little patterns and more pops of color throughout if you roll the number 4. Number 5, again, you're painting similarly to Van Gogh. So we're going to be using subtle variations of blues. Remember, I would actually mix tons of blues first. Blue grays, blue purples, lots of different dark values. As you can see in Van Gogh's, there's so many different blues, almost a countless number of blues in example A here. So lots and lots of different blues, dark blues. Number 6 is you're making patterns and colors, alternating or creating patterns with color. There, talk about, speaking of patterns with color, looking really good, Aunt Marge. Boy, oh boy. Man, oh man, I cannot wait to see that in person done. You're muted, I can't hear what you're saying, but I cannot wait till I can see that in person all the way completed.
I'm always.
Because that looks absolutely amazing.
This is incredible.
Oh yeah, you gotta unmute yourself if you want to talk. But that looks really good, Aunt Marge. I love it. You're going the right direction. All right, so let's roll our dice. I didn't roll yet. Let's roll and see what we get for styles of homes. I got a 4 again, which is don't put any 2 colors next to each other. So don't put 2 blues next to each other. Don't put 2 reds next to each other. So mine's gonna be a party, which kind of goes with my sky. There's lots of different colors, so that's gonna work out good for mine. What did you guys roll?
I don't like it when
You got a 5. Okay, you're doing Van Gogh style. All right, cool. Anybody else? What else did everybody get? You can just hold up the number you got too. You got a 5 too. Sweet. I think Pam just wants to paint the regular Van Gogh. That's all good. You don't have to do the variation the first time you paint Van Gogh. You can do something slightly different.
Yeah, that's the hard one.
Yeah.
Very challenging.
It is, and it takes a lot of time, especially if you're doing those small brush strokes. It really takes a lot out of you. So I'm gonna move on to my buildings. I'm gonna use the colors that are already on my palette and just start painting them in. Which is gonna be easy peasy. I'm using some of these same colors, and I'm just gonna paint these guys in. Not concentrating on not putting 2 of the same color next to each other is all I gotta do. So I got an easy road ahead of me.
Do this background for
My pastel painting. In fact, I might end up painting the edges just because I don't have a complicated one to do on this one.
What?
But boy, I hope some of you guys got some cool compositions happening.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's looking really good, Haley. Man, oh man.
Animal people.
That is awesome. You're cranking it out too. You're working fast. Some people are just barely started in their skies. I'm sorry if it's going too fast for you. I'm just used to painting fast. I said it before that this is my 7th year doing paint parties, so I'm used to just cruising through paintings while I'm talking. But most of the average people aren't used to painting for 2.5 hours straight, let alone finishing a painting in 2.5 hours. So, but take your time, take the weekend, take the whole Christmas break to finish. There's no rush. Really, I want this to be a relaxing process, not a stressful process. So if you start feeling stressed, take a break, take a breather, take a break, and step away for a second. It's never gonna hurt to step away for a second too, because it lets the paint dry for a second. And when you do come back after that break, you can put another layer on top. And it
Well, the bathroom's okay, isn't it?
and you can rescue some things that might be going awry.
Yeah. That's been falling apart.
Who is? Ray's doing good? Awesome.
Door
Good to
upstairs.
hear, Ray.
Ryan's gonna replace it. But like, it's not the hinge. It's like.
What number, if you want to share in the chat, what number you got in that last step?
You know, like replace.
I'd love to know what numbers you got and where you're going. What's the biggest challenge you're facing so far? Is it spirals? Is it gradients?
We've learned our lesson.
Oh, that's right. I'm down here, not in the sky. I almost went back in the sky. So I'm going to do some of my stripes that I created down here.
What the hell? Why is everything falling apart this week?
Well, we had to get a new garbage disposal.
There we go.
Okay. So
Oh, I'm really liking these stripes. These stripes make it look like fun. It looks super fun. It reminds me of like Whoville or something. Like I'm painting Starry Night Whoville. Ooh, who's doing stained glass? I want to see. Yeah? Ooh, oh man. You know, Ray, if you don't want to share with everybody, I'd love for you to just like send me a picture when you're done. When you're, ooh, in April, what you got going? Oh, cool. Big, bold ribbons of blue. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love your style.
Stained glass with the spiral.
Yeah. Cool, cool. That's going to work. That's going to work. Make sure you squeeze in some other light blues too, some cyans and some like baby blues in with those dark, bold blues to really pump those other blues. I mentioned in my last class how much I like Manet, which was a famous impressionist, a famous French impressionist. And he was very famous for using lots of different blues throughout his composition. And the blues, the one blue makes the other blue look bluer and vice versa. You can really actually see that quite well in this Snoopy one, the way I did the blues in this one. That the cyan between the ultramarine with the cyan, like a cyan-witch. Get it? So like a little cyan-witch. Lots of different blues, lots of different ultramarines, and them next to each other, they really make each other pop. And it looks really cool. You see that in a lot of Manet compositions. So I'm gonna just start painting some random stuff here and making sure not to paint two things next to each other. So I'm just gonna go through with my orange and just paint one random thing every couple inches with this crazy light orange that I have. And just painting in almost randomly, because that's what my dice told me to do. Just getting this ground painted.
Yeah, there's a movie by what's it called? Holiday.
I like this backdrop behind Angela. I gotta get a pretty backdrop. Although I got my Christmas tree right now, so it kind of works. But I'd love to do like a little.
This is my work desk.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good for
right here.
So it's good for your Zooms and stuff. That's why you got your curtain up there.
Yeah.
Yep. Adds a little bit of decoration. But you know, the Zoom does that AI. You can do like it automatically. If you just have if you just have a green screen, you can put like whatever picture you want behind you. So
Yeah.
With a green curtain or a green blanket, sheet, whatever.
But you're right. I mean, there's quite a bit of sap.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
definitely sappy, yeah.
Well, I like a good sap. I think I just.
But I guess my background works. I got plenty of paintings back there. If you guys want to see any of those paintings up close, I'd gladly bring them closer to the camera if you want to see any of them. They're all from previous paint parties. Some of them from recent paint parties. Some of them from long, long ago.
Not in the right space.
But or if you want to paint any of the paintings that are in my background, just let me know. And maybe I can arrange for that to be in a future paint party.
Well, because you ran, because like the other day he was like, I'm gonna marry this girl, and just started telling
I am filling in lots of different colors here, warm to cool. I'm just bouncing back and forth. Kind of sticking with the same color scheme that I had in my sky. So I'm gonna do all warms and try to mix some turquoises in here with it. Sure, I'm gonna zoom in.
He had me like play by play, and I'm like, oh god.
There we go.
Yeah, he was angry with her. She was being unreasonable.
Yeah, things are looking good. I'm gonna make another couple turquoises on my palette while I have a second. Make a couple different colors to work with. And again, this would be a good time to use that spritzer bottle if you got a spritzer bottle, because boy, my paints are getting dry. Now, Aunt Marge, you know exactly what I was talking about, I bet you, when I said about the speed of acrylics drying. I'm sure some of your acrylic paints are drying already, and you're finding yourself having to remix different colors, the same color more than once. And that's just the nature of the beast. That is another reason why I enjoy using other mediums. I was mentioning oil paint earlier, but watercolor is the same way. Like watercolor will stay wet in your palette forever as long as you put a lid on there. As long as that water doesn't evaporate.
There we go.
But that's another paint that lasts a really long time when you're trying to work with it. You don't have to worry about remixing colors lots of times. The watercolor stays wet with water.
Yeah, and they're dealing with public.
Which is essentially why I'm constantly spritzing my stuff. It essentially almost creates a watercolor or a layer of watercolor on top of my paint, a barrier for the air not to be able to get through and dry up my paints.
Personally, I think, I don't know. I don't know her, so it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, I don't know.
I mean, I think that,
There we go. So I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. I know there's lots of different houses and shapes. I'm going to try to do it nice and quick. And I would suggest the same for you, because even if you're trying to do it like impressionistic style, like Van Gogh, that's going to lend, the quickness is going to lend itself to being a more impressionistic look, a more expressionistic look. And same if you're doing gradients in all your shapes. Doing it faster is going to help, because your paints won't get that time, that 5 minutes it takes for it to dry. It won't get that time. I'm making sure to grab my turquoise, because that was one of the base colors that I need. So I'm gonna make sure that I have lots of that in here too. I'm just painting in any solid shapes I can find, just filling in my whites and sticking with the same color scheme that I used in my sky.
Worse on the worst, and you might have to take Christian out to work some other, like I had a definite.
Yeah. Right. The other possibility, I don't know. Obviously, I want to still help Mike because Mike's been so good, but if we feel
all right, guys, looking good. How are you guys looking?
Needs to be that he's safe, just not.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, but the other thing is
looking good, Haley.
Thank you.
I'm finding myself using Angela's curtain color scheme.
Have like a medical.
Yes. Ooh, those blues next to that red. Oh my goodness. That's gonna be popping when you're done.
And I can do the stuff Mike does.
So I'm trying to do all these smaller areas now. Just filling in. Again, I'm using my my 1/2-inch flat brush. I feel that's the most versatile for me right now.
Might work, but it would be a little bit of extra cost my side hustle. So
Okay.
Jamie, I just muted you just in case you said something that you don't want to be shared on recorded video. You're gonna have to unmute yourself if you've got another comment to jump in with. I just don't want you accidentally saying something about somebody and then they're watching the recording 5 years down into the future and they hear what you said. It's all good. I do want you to jump in and chime in at any time. So there is my turquoise. I'm mixing lots of different turquoises for my foreground. And if you're doing Van Gogh's variation, you're mixing lots of different blues. If you're doing warm colors, you're mixing lots of different warm colors. So we all have a lot of mix. Ooh, I just put 2 colors next to the same. We all have a lot of mixing to do. And obviously I didn't do enough mixing and put enough colors on my palette because I just put 2 of the same color next to each other. How dare I break my own rule? So I need a few more colors here in my palette. I'm noticing I don't really have any yellows. My yellow got a little dirty, so I'm gonna mix a little more yellow. And I am doing a good job of only using 1 palette so far. Those of you who were painting with me in the last couple events know that I like cruised through like 3-4 palettes of the last couple. Oh yeah? We got some little ones painting too? That's cool. Well, I ought to watch my mouth then because I sent a couple, I mean, not real swears, but like those half swears. levels of different levels of swearing. You gotta know where to draw the line. I do have, speaking of swearing, I do have some family friendly events coming up. Per request, I've had a lot of requests asking me for to do more stuff with kids. My only hesitation is that I am not there. So like if a kid's painting with acrylic paint and all of a sudden I'm teaching and I look up and a kid's like got the brush in their mouth or drinking the paint water or something and the parents in another room, I mean, I'm just gonna be panicking the whole time, I think. So I'm definitely gonna have like an age limit of maybe like 7 and up. I think that's when the age when the kids don't know how to put or know not to put paint in their mouth anymore. But there are some family-friendly events coming up. There's one right after the holiday. I think it's January 8th, I want to say. Yeah, the 8th. We're painting this fun scene called The Landscape Painter. And it looks like a little kid painting a landscape. Adults are going to love painting it too. But it's a little kid painting a landscape, and the landscape is kind of blending into their painting. It's a very simple composition too. This one is definitely, I wouldn't put this in the easy category. This is definitely a challenge. If you came here thinking that Starry Night was gonna be easy today, you thought wrong. There's lots of techniques and mixing and blending, and because of the creative aspect of this project, it makes it a little more challenging. I would definitely put this one at an intermediate level. But that next January 8th is going to be an easier composition. That landscape painter is definitely an easier one. And that Name Your Price event that I was talking about when we first started on the 15th is, I would say, an easy one too. It's really just a zoomed in water lily. Really, we're just focusing on getting that composition nice. We're really focusing on brush stroke and trying to get a lot of color on one brush stroke and really being confident with our strokes in that Name Your Price event. Should I take a break? I don't want to take a break because last time I went way too long. I felt I was rushing at the end, and I don't want to feel like I'm rushing. Although I do need a break. Yesterday I was drawing for, I don't know, 6 hours, 8 hours straight. I drew a Dragon Ball Z drawing for somebody. I'm not really a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z, but it was a commission for somebody for Christmas. So I just cranked it out. I got to deliver it tomorrow. But my hand is sore, so I really could use a break. My hand is crampy. But what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And I'm going to have that much stronger of a drawing hand because of it. Yeah. I can't believe it. My paints are drying so fast. Like by the time I'm done mixing the color, it's dry on my palette. So I water down my palettes my paints just a little bit, just so they have some viscosity to them. Pretty much all the time. Even if I'm not doing like a watercolor technique, I still end up watering down my paint just a little bit, just so it's not so thick, so it smoothly comes off my brush a little faster, a little smoother. And I'm really liking these turquoise next to these warm colors. This makes me happy. It's definitely not depressed in the slightest. So slowly making progress through our cityscape. Hopefully you guys are too. And I saw that some people are still in the sky, and that's fine and dandy. You take your time. Is anybody on those houses? Anybody doing a good job on those houses? Is anybody riding along with me? Yes, no, maybe, nod, yeah. Sweet. Sweet. Man, Haley, you were right on par.
Working on it.
Good job. Good job. Looking good. Looking good. Dang, Angela. Wow. That is going to have some impact when you're done. That is powerful. What brand paints are you using, if you don't mind me asking? They're nice and bright and colorful and rich. Rich. Very rich.
I'm pretty sure they're the Walmart paints. They're what I had at the house.
No kidding. No kidding. Go Walmart brand. Oh, yeah. You know, sometimes you can be pleasantly surprised with a cheap brand. And that's how I feel about brushes too. Like, don't waste your money on expensive brushes. Some of these cheap brushes last just as long and are just as durable as the more expensive ones. And the same thing goes with paint. Some of the cheap paints you can get with, although some of those cheap paints are really cheap, and you could tell like immediately when you pour them out of the tube that they're not the right viscosity, that they feel like jelly when they come out. The way they break up, they don't have that smoothness to them like paint should. You'll tell immediately when you get a bad paint. Those Walmart paints look pretty good, I must say. The red is really bright red, and the blue is very bright blue.
That was great. We lost it again.
Yeah, you did.
What's up?
I'm not so sure I didn't either. Oh, no, I'm good. Teresa lost it again. She'll be back.
Oh, that's because they live out in the boonies.
I know, on the one-way street.
You can't get out once you're in.
Surprised they have internet.
Boost that Wi-Fi. Well, and I also don't want to stress Uncle Mike out on his birthday trying to get the internet working the whole time. I'm sure he wants to kick back and have a glass of wine, not futz with the internet all night.
They keep yelling at him. It's okay. He'll be fine.
It's his birthday. Stop yelling at him.
He'll be okay.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Nice gift that I gave my uncle.
No, like if you look on the bottom right.
His family troubleshooting his internet all night. What a blast. Bless you. I think somebody sneezed anyway. Yeah, there was a Zoom glitch. Now I'm gonna try to put this yellow. I'm gonna put a little bit of yellow in here, but I'm gonna try to put it like where I actually want like lights to be in my city street scene here. My bright whitish yellow. Pop a couple of these doors and windows. No, look at it. I really want to add a layer of dark when I'm done. I really got it like a real pastel range. I'd love it to be a little more contrast, a little more bold. So I think when I'm all the way done, I'm going to bring some darker colors back into the sky, but we'll see. We'll see how much time I have at the end here and how exhausted you guys are and how exhausted I am at the end of our meeting today. We're actually about 2 hours in already. Believe it or not, unbelievable. I don't, how are we 2 hours into this class already? That's crazy. So if at any point you get too exhausted and it was past your bedtime, I know it's Friday night and you've had a long week just before the holiday here. If you need to punch out anytime. I will still send you the link of the full video if you feel like you need to cash out at any time. So that's fine by me. But I'm going to be painting mine probably until about 9:30. And again, if you guys want to stick around afterwards and chit chat and gab and paint longer and whatever else you want to do, I will be here with you painting right along. And I am running a little spots. I'm gonna go with some phthalo blue. Phthalo blue, I don't know if you knew this, is more of a blue-green blue. So if you look at the store, you see phthalo blue. That's P-H-T-H-A-L-O, phthalo. If you say phthalo blue, that's more of a blue-green blue. And if you see ultramarine blue, that's more of a purplish blue. So it has like a hint, a very, very small hint of red in it, ultramarine. So, I mean, it's good to know the difference because if you're making a purple, you don't want to be using phthalo blue. You don't want to be using a blue that's got green in it. Otherwise, your purple is going to come out really subdued, unless that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a subdued purple, then obviously go for it. But usually you use ultramarine to make a purple and using that phthalo blue to make blue greens and greens. So I just got a few more little spots here to fill up in my city. I'm going to take a couple more minutes and finish those up. Again, I'm trying not to put two colors next to each other. So mine's going to look like a fun little party down at the bottom when I finish, I think. Almost like a coloring book page, the way I'm doing it. I'm loving what I've seen from you guys, though, so far. I love that purple blue thing that Haley's doing. I love the rainbow thing my Aunt Marge is doing. That is so cool. And I had a feeling that some of those random dice rolls were going to have some cool results. This is, I'm going to try to attack my last couple big white spots here. Fill this in. Paints are drying too fast. Add a little bit of water. Again, that's why I have a clean cup of water too, because every once in a while I'm touching the surface of my clean water and bringing water into my paint that way to increase the viscosity as opposed to spritzing it with a water bottle. That's a good way to do it, to just touch the surface of your clean water cup and use that and mix that with your paint just to water it down. Not to the point where it becomes a watercolor, but just to the point where it just increases the viscosity ever so slightly. How we doing, gang? Good? Thanks. Oh my gosh, that's looking cool. Haley, you're bringing some like regular bright reds into it now too. Cool, cool. April, how's it coming along? You got the world's tiniest brush there or what? April's a detailer. April's got a full-time job as a tattooist, I think. Just working with a needle.
Actually, I'm a preschool teacher.
A preschool teacher, yeah? Are you using a teeny tiny brush? Do you not have any big brushes, or are you just doing the little tiny small spots?
Detail.
You're doing a lot of details. Man, oh man. If you guys, I can't see a whole lot of detail on thumbnails through Zoom, unfortunately. Zoom takes away some of those details. If you, when you're done, if you could take a picture and send it to me, that would be so super cool. And if you send it to me and give me permission to use it on my website, that'd be even cooler, so I can show off the examples that my students did. But yeah, take pictures and send them to me. I don't have to use them. You can explicitly say don't use this on your website if you don't want to show and tell everybody. But just to share and show me. Who are you owing? Who do you see? Oh yeah? I want to see. Wait, go back. Oh, Heather, I finally can see Heather's. How did you're like done. What are you doing? How did it, what? Okay, so Heather like went on like turbo speed and like did the whole thing. Holy moly. My goodness. Hey, little dude. How are ya? Are you helping out Mom? All right. Good. We'll help her finish up. She's got to put those finishing touches on it. Tell her what to do.
Teresa and Marge are still trying to come back.
Oh, really? That stinks.
Oh, let them in, he said. They said.
They're coming. They're in.
You're in, Teresa.
I'm sorry. Yes, if you'd rather post your art on Facebook, thank you, sweetheart, for mentioning that. If you'd rather post your art on Facebook instead of sending me a picture, you can just post your art on Facebook and tag me. I think you just got to use an @ symbol is all you got to do on Facebook. So if you do @Mr. Paint Party, all one word, @Mr. Paint Party, it'll like tag me into your post so I can see what you posted on Facebook. I'd love to see what my students are doing. Missing out on that online it breaks my heart. That's one of the things I'm really missing is walking around the room and be able to see what you guys are doing. Because you guys inspire me. I mean, really, you inspire me to do better. All right, so I just got a few more spots to paint in here. I found like a neutral bluish, grayish color that I'm using to fill in my last couple spots of alternating colors here. My ground, actually, my cityscape is looking very rainbowy now that I got all these colors on here. Oh, another 2 colors the same next to each other. Whoops, 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 whoops. Shh, don't tell anybody. Looking good. All right, so our last dice roll. Who's ready for our last dice roll? Nobody yet. I'm not going to get there yet. I'm just warning you what our last dice roll is. Our last dice roll is going to be the style of the cypress trees. So these bad boys over here on the left. I'm just going to go through the spiel of the rolls here real quick. The spiel. If you roll a number 1, roll a number 1 on the next roll, you break in your cypress tree into sections and paint it alternating colors, kind of like the way that I'm doing my ground right now. But alternating, more like how I did my stripes over here. If you get a number 2, paint the whole thing one solid color first. Let it dry for a second, and then bring some texture back over the top, some textured strokes. Like my sample from sample 1. Sample 1. Where are you, sample 1? Sample 1. Oh, sample 1. I think this is sample 1, actually. Yeah, I kind of painted one solid color, and then I did some texture over the top of it. It almost looks like hair or something in this one. I like how these two are kind of coming out similarly. It's going to be fun to hang next to each other. We're going to have a wall full of Starry Nights soon. Number 3 is break into sections and do gradients like we've been practicing. Lots of gradient practice here today. Number 4 is make the tree look like fire. I know I said earlier that it's not supposed to be fire, but if you get a 3, you're going to a 4, you're going to purposely make it look like fire. I got some drips on the ground over here. I don't know why I did that, but that needs to be, oops. Number 5 is try to make your cypress trees somewhat dreary and depressing, like Van Gogh. So lots of darks, nearly blacks. To mix black, you're really just mixing all of your darkest dark colors together. So your dark blue, your dark red, maybe a dark green. That should get you to dark black. If you need help with that, I'll help you. And then 6 is add extra flourishes and line work to your tree. You know, I don't know if I have any to demonstrate that example. Extra flourishes. Actually, you know what? My original Starry Night with all these little tiny brush strokes kind of looks like flourishes and line work. So I painted it. I got different sections. In fact, this is like all the techniques in one because I got like some stripes, I got some gradients, I got some texture. It's got a little bit of everything in this one. So we'll see what we roll in just a second, but I'm going to finish my buildings first. Got a little bit of orange here left. And, ooh, yeah, that's a nice dark orange. That'll work good. Fill in the last of my white spots here that don't have any color on them. It's hard for me to get the lip on my bottom of my canvas here too. I got some houses hiding underneath this little lip right here. Oh, yeah. I need both hands. Watching me juggle. There we go. I'm gonna zoom back in too, so you guys can see what I'm doing again. There we go. The very first paint party I did, I forgot to zoom the whole time. In fact, I was on like the gallery view, so it was like thumbnail view the whole time. So those of you who wanted to watch that replay, I'm sorry. That was teeny tiny and you had to squint the whole time while watching it. But I have now figured out that I can be full screen here. So on the replays, I am full screen. Although, albeit it's still like lesser resolution than I'd like it to be. It like automatically compresses from being in a Zoom meeting. Ends up being like 720 pixels, 720 DPI instead of a lot of DPI. 4K. It's definitely not 4K when I upload it to YouTube. But the file size would just be ridiculous if it was 4K. It would just be too big to even upload. It would take too long to load. I tell you what, my Starry Night looks really jazzy on camera. It really looks a little more pastel-y in real life. Yeah, does somebody agree with me there? It really looks jazzy, doesn't it? Thanks. It's a little more pastel-y in real life. The colors are a little bit more subdued. I'm gonna bring it back an inch so you can see it. Put this down. There we go. You can see my buildings. There we go. I still didn't paint that spire yet. I need to paint that spire on the church. I think that's an important part. My you know what this reminds me of? My buildings, they look like Legos. Just the colors that I ended up using. It looks like a Lego town to me. But I have been watching a lot of Lego Masters, so that could be. Not that I watch a lot of TV. Don't get me wrong. I really don't watch a lot of TV. I usually just watch during dinner. It's the only time we watch TV actually in our household. And I've been watching the Australian Lego Masters actually, which is better than the US Lego Masters. You guys, anybody seen Lego Masters? Or am I the only super nerd out here that watched that? No?
I've seen a few episodes.
Kids watched it? It's a fun show. I mean, really, competitive Lego building, there's nothing better. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of sports, but if they make that a professional sport, I would be down to watch the finals of that competition, that's for sure. All right, last couple gaps, last couple steps here in my city. I'm gonna roll again for my cypress trees in just a second. I almost want to leave a couple of them white. I kind of like those couple of white ones in there. But I'm going to go for it. I'm going to cover them up. I'm going to use some more of this ultramarine blue. I was looking over there. We got everybody? Did we lose a person? We did lose a person. We had 11 when we first started. Who did we lose?
The number.
Oh, okay. Cool. Sweet, sweet. I didn't paint this area right here. So I like all these color choices. Does anybody have any spots they don't know what color to paint? What color? Anybody? On somebody, anybody? Nobody? What color should I paint? I really want to use that 20-sided die somewhere. All right. Aunt Marge, you got the dice? Where are you? Did we lose her again? We did lose her. No, she's there. She's showing me your painting right now. Look at it.
She's trying to figure out how to unmute.
Oh my God, that's awesome looking. Are you working on it together? No, Teresa, yours is separate, right? Are you working on it? How's yours looking, Teresa?
Yeah, I was just, she couldn't figure out how to unmute.
Oh, I got you.
All right.
I want you to roll that. I want you to roll that dice.
The houses and the.
The houses, you gotta roll your dice again and figure out what technique you're using. But I do need a dice roll. I need to know what color I'm painting my last buildings here.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead, roll.
I dropped it.
It counts.
12.
12. Dark green. Wow, I wasn't gonna bring any dark green into here. Okay, I do what you say, Mr. Dice. Dark green. I'm gonna bring some dark.
14.
Who's got 14? You're doing 14? Where's Teresa? I didn't see it. Oh, wow! Ooh, I love the sky. Oh, cool. Wow, that's really neat. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to take a close-up picture and send that to me when you're done. That is really neat. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Kandinsky. The way you put that composition together. That is really neat. Very bold. Very bold. So I know it's a dark green and it'll be a dark blue.
The one you made for Mike.
I'm gonna write these last couple of strokes and then we're gonna do our tree, or at least start our tree together. I got like a dark bluish green happening. I'm gonna make it a little bit more greenish. There we go. Dark green. Finish it up. That looks cool. I got like 3 more brush strokes, and then I'm going to roll my dice again for my cypress trees. But you guys roll your dice when you're ready to move on to that cypress tree. And if it's not tonight, then you do it when you're ready, all right? I don't know if you guys all got the email. Hopefully you did. But I did send that instruction sheet, the PDF, with the original Zoom link when you signed up. So that PDF, it also has the instructions, at least it should. It should have a page of instructions in there, all those instructions that I went through today while I was rolling these dice. So if you want to go back and do it again, oh man, if you go back and do it again, please, please, please send me your example. I love to see how it comes out the first time and the second time, comparatively, compared to the two. So I'm rolling. Where's my dice? Here it is. I almost have no voice left, so we're going to have to wrap it up. I can feel my voice starting to go. I have a 2, so I'm going to paint one solid color first. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to bring some textured strokes on top. It's only going to take 2 minutes for it to dry, especially if I paint a nice thin coat. So I'm going to paint my solid color first. I think I'm going to stick with my color scheme. I'm going to go like a turquoise, and I'm going to do a dark blue on top. But it's still going to be light and colorful like the rest of my scene is here. All right, so what are some of the other rolls you guys got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What'd you get? Hold up some fingers. I want to know. I want to know what you got. What roll did you get? Oh, nobody's ready to roll yet. That's what the problem is.
3.
3. All right, cool. You're breaking into some sections now.
3.
That'll be good. That'll give you a break from your rainbows. You got a 2, so you're doing the 2 along with me, Angela. Cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Mr. K, what's 4?
4 is make the tree look more like fire, which will be very super cool in yours.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because it's going behind your sky. Oh, it's gonna be so awesome. Add warm gradients throughout is number 4. Try to make it look more like fire. Add warm gradients throughout. So let's do it. Let's make it happen. So I'm gonna make a nice light turquoise cyan color here to start off with. Water it down a little bit to create some fluidity so I can make a nice thin layer of it going around across my whole tree. I've also got some stripes on my tree that I kind of ignored the whole time. So I'm gonna have to fill in those stripes too. But I'm just gonna make one flat solid color to start off with. Boy, those first couple strokes came off my brush nicely, didn't they? They just lined up right where they needed to go. I love it when that happens. The fewer number of strokes it takes to make something satisfactory, it just brings me so much enjoyment when that happens. When things just fall right into place where they need to be. So I'm doing this one solid color throughout the whole thing first. You can still see some of my black stripe lines underneath.
Not too bad.
This is the first one that I drew with Sharpie underneath, and I really actually like it because when you draw with pencil underneath, your pencil your brush kind of picks up some of that pencil as it gets wet. And I'm really liking the fact that my colors aren't getting tainted by the pencil marks. So I don't know if that bothers you at all, that the fact that your brush picks up pencil marks as you're painting, then maybe try doing it with Sharpie next time.
Yeah,
What's up?
I like the Sharpie. That's a good idea.
Yeah?
Sharpie's good.
It works pretty good.
Yeah, it works good.
And it's waterproof, so you don't have to worry about it bleeding. And you don't really lose your lines either. That's another problem with drawing with pencil first, is that sometimes your lines will completely disappear underneath what you're painting and you'll lose your spot. So that's definitely another benefit of using Sharpie. Although you gotta be super confident when you're drawing, if you're sketching something. Super confident. There's no erasing Sharpie. All right, so I don't mind those white stripes on that back hill. I don't mind my sky so much anymore either, now that I got color on the whole thing. Hopefully you're feeling the same way too about your composition, that now that you got some color, once you get some color on your cypress tree, that it starts to come together. I feel like mine really started to come together as soon as I put that color on there.
What color was it on the cypress tree?
Cyan, just slightly watered down cyan.
What's a cyan?
Cyan turquoise, like a light turquoise.
I think I put mine green. I don't know if that's good. I think
let me see. Is it light, dark? How did it turn out? Oh, where'd you go? I gotta flip back to you. There you are. Oh, cool. Oh, that's a nice light green. Yeah, that'll work out good. That's cool, and it coordinates with your background color really well too.
All right. I don't want it to look like a pine tree though.
Yeah. Mine turned out a little blue. Yours turned out a little green. But you know what? Maybe the coat that you put on top, because we're gonna put a texture on top. Maybe yours will be a little more bluer.
Okay.
When you do that, put the next coat, and I got to do stripes on mine too. So I'm not really sure. I'll tackle that bridge when I get to it. This painting in the background looks really nice. Tooting my own horn. This painting behind my Christmas tree over here in the distance, that looks really nice from a distance. Up close, it doesn't look that good, but from far away. That one, actually, I painted with a group of female architects. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about? This sunset behind my Christmas tree back there? I painted that with a group of female architects. So they all had their basic drawing and painting classes from art school. So I really challenged them with that snowscape. I'm gonna grab it with a little closer. Yeah, I like how this one turned out. Might be one of my favorites from my painting class, actually. Just the color and the composition. It's definitely a more advanced painting.
Right.
But still simple, still doable within 2 hours or so. And all the ladies that day that we did this painting, they all came out probably better than my own. So that actually makes me super happy when my class's paintings turn out better than mine.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to take my phthalo blue, a darker blue. I'm going over the top of my cyan here just to do a second layer, because that's what my dice told me to do. It said paint one solid color first, let dry, then bring textured strokes of another color on top. I'm not going to do too much texture because I don't really have a whole lot of texture throughout my whole thing, but I am going to like maybe break up the shape a little bit so it's not so solid, not so one color. Maybe do something similar to what I did in the sky with some nice long strokes, just to add a little bit of texture to the tree. Make it look a little more tree-like. I'm just using phthalo blue, making a nice rich blue. Touching my ultramarine a little bit so it's a little bit more sophisticated. Plus my brush is a little dirty from the previous color, so it's not exactly phthalo blue from the tube. I said before, and I'll say it again, I don't like color straight from the tube. We gotta mix it with something. Mix it with something so it looks unique. So I'm adding some whimsical wispy strokes in there, just adding a little bit of texture to my tree. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Why not? There we go. So I can see all these little brush strokes that I'm doing. I'm just adding some texture. Maybe I'll fill a couple of them in. I know I'm gonna fill in some of these stripes too, so I'm gonna do that too. Also these stripes. Very unnatural for a tree to have stripes on it, but somehow it's working today. Somehow this is working. Yeah, it's Whoville mixed with Legoville I got going on here. When the Who's build Legos, this is what it comes out looking like. This one's gonna be all solid blue. Make this one. I'll make this one solid color. I'm gonna make this one a solid color. And can you believe it, guys? I made it through this whole composition, and I am still using the same palette. Unbelievable. Usually I'm on palette number 4 or 5 by now. And I did get some brushes. I know I've been bragging about the last 2-3 classes that I've been using the same brush the whole time, but I finally broke down and bought some new brushes. Come to nice tips. Again, I'm buying the economy brushes from Michael's Arts and Crafts. These are the Simply Simmons brushes. They're very, very similar to those other style that I like with the golden tackle-on bristles. They're made from synthetic hairs. They're only $2.99 a piece. And you can't beat that. I mean, there's some brushes out there that you can pay up to $50, $80. I literally have, I'm embarrassed to say this, I literally have an $80 brush in my drawer. And I've never used it because it's $80. So there's no point in buying an $80 brush. There's none at all. I think it's made out of badger hair or beaver hair or something. Now, that's the other thing. I'm painting with a dead beaver. It's morbid and macabre. So I think that's all the texture that I'm going to do on my tree. I'm not going to go over the top. I might make it just a little bit darker in some spots, but I'm not really going to take too much time. I kind of like my cartoony, simplified look that I got going on right now. If I was doing more of a Van Gogh, brushy, impressionistic, I would definitely be attacking that tree a lot more. But the way it's got these solid patterns on it now, I like how that turned out. So I'm just going to keep it like that. I'm going to go a little bit back into my sky. And my sky looks unfinished now that I got these nice bold colors on my Lego city and my bold cypress tree. I feel like my sky needs something, especially like right in this area here, right in this region. But that's really the last step. So my last step is you may need some final touches to make the composition look complete. If it's bad, paint it white, try it again. Or paint it black and put it in the attic. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. But I am still online, and I'm going to be online for a while. So feel free to just shout out or chat out or scream out. But if you're feeling introverted, you feel free to email me afterwards too. You don't have to do it in front of everybody or ask for painting advice in front of everybody. Feel free to email me. I make myself available for all my clients and all my students all the time. So feel free to hit me up anytime. I will help you out with whatever painting you're working on, whether it's something from my class or something you're trying to do on your own, venturing off into your own realm of creativity. I'd love to hear that starting to happen. One of my classes last week, I inspired one young artist to paint again. She hadn't painted since the beginning of COVID, she said. So she hasn't painted in 9 months, and she finally busted out her paints again to paint with me last week. So that makes me extraordinarily happy that I'm busting some people out of their artistic, creative lulls or their COVID depressions and giving them something to shoot for at the end of the week. So I'm gonna try my best to do these painting parties every Friday. So those of you who really like to participate in them have something to look forward to at the end of a long, hard week. And it's going to be something regular that you can count on. I'm going to have a little break here for the holidays. I'm going to take a couple weeks off, but I'm going to jump back in January with lots of classes. I just posted one today, that Name Your Price event. I'm going to post probably another one tomorrow, which should be this one that I gave some of you a sneak peek of before, which is very Bob Rossi. We got a nice pink sunset in the background and some blue tree, very, very easy, very simple composition. So if you're looking for something easy to do, this one's going to be a little later in January, during those cold, dreary months when we really got nothing to do. Because not only we're going to be trapped inside from COVID, we're going to be trapped inside due to the stupid cold. So, so yeah. Ooh, somebody's holding up the painting. I want to see. Hold on. Ooh, Aunt Marge. Wowzers. I'm in love with your painting. This is so cool. I mean, the empty white spots in the sky, I would just almost do like random red, orange, yellow, green in those empty spots that are in the sky just to fill in those gaps between the rainbows.
Okay.
And then, well, and then you're gonna move on to your houses. But
how do I do the houses? I have swirly things.
You got swirly things in your house?
Mine was the number 3.
Okay, so you had lots of swirls in there. So very similarly to how you painted in those stripes, those rainbows that you did in your sky, I would start doing the ground in the same, using the same technique, this technique that you invented today. This rainbow whimsical long line stroke thing that you're doing. I would do that same technique down in the cityscape until you get stuck, and then I would do the same thing, just fill in the extra white spots with some of those rainbow colors. When you reach a stopping spot, when you reach a spot where you're like, when you're getting frustrated, you don't want to do any more rainbows, because I can tell that technique is going to take some time doing those rainbow strokes right next to each other continuously. So yeah, continue that technique. I like it. Haley, you got a real easel, a real artist easel there. Are you painting on your own time, doing some other paintings too?
Yeah, I do a lot of paintings. I got into the habit about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Bought me last Christmas.
Cool.
But I haven't done anything like this in a long time.
So what subject matter? What have you been painting?
All different types of things, really. I have really no exact style. I just kind of like look at something. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let me see what I could do with that.
Okay. Awesome. Is that a kitty back there? It is.
That's actually my dog Lily.
It's a doggy? I can't tell. It's such a small thumbnail. I just see ears. Oh, hello. Hello, Pooch. Oh, it's a corgi, huh?
No, she's a husky mix.
No way. It looks like she's got short, stumpy legs. My wife just said, stop guessing. Is that a cat? Is that an alligator?
But yeah, so she's a sweetheart. But there's a corgi pillow in the back, so that does make sense what you were talking about. But yeah, I love the different forms of art. I do watercolor, painting, and I do sketches.
Okay.
So my favorite is doing realistic sketches of like of a photo.
Yes.
Favorite thing. I'm still working on that though. It's not my best one for sure.
Okay, well, practice makes perfect.
But I like painting a lot too. I do like a lot.
I can give you some tips.
Family. Oh yeah, definitely.
I'd like to do some more drawing classes. In fact, I'd love to do some more watercolor classes. I think that would be super cool. I mean, obviously I can't do it upright like this, but I can lay it flat. I gotta get a different camera that can point downwards where I can lay it flat in watercolor, and then we can maybe watercolor together. That'd be awesome.
I love landscape watercolor. I think those are the funnest to do, especially when you're just so fun.
You're talking my language. That's that. I mean, my degree from college was in watercolor painting. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't get the traditional teaching degree like all the rest of the teachers at that school. I have an art degree. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I love watercolor. Watercolor is where it's at. But yeah, majority of stuff I've been painting has been in all acrylic painting recently, just because of the Mr. Paint Party.
Yeah, I've never touched oil paints. I've only ever touched acrylic paints.
It's a whole new world. It really is.
That's what I've been told.
Different. Especially when you're blending. I mean, the gradient, doing a gradient with acrylic is really challenging. I mean, you got to do some advanced techniques in order to get that to work.
I really water down my paints. If I'm gonna do that, then I'll go over with a deeper color, then water it again. That's usually what I end up doing for.
Oh, so you're just a natural watercolorist like me. Gotcha. Awesome. Anybody else want to show and tell at this point? Everybody else working through some tough spots? Can I help anybody through some tough spots?
I'm gonna take off, Dan.
Yeah, you're gonna take off? Oh my gosh, it turned out great! I love it. God, I love the sky. April. Oh, April. Those thin strokes on the tree are coming out nicely. Well, thanks for joining again, Julie. Hopefully you can join another one in the near future.
Yeah, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, awesome. Kaylee didn't join you this time, huh?
He had a paper due at 10, and now we have to proofread it, so I gotta go.
Oh, take care of business. All right, thanks for joining again. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Angela, beautiful job. Oh my gosh, you got it all the way done. Oh, you got it all the way done. Aunt Marge is holding. What is Aunt Marge holding? Oh, she's holding my painting. If you guys want to look, this is something that my Aunt Marge had commissioned me to make. It's like a caricature cartoon of her and her whole family, which is growing by the minute. There's like storks flying in from the corner with more babies. But yeah, it's a caricature of her whole entire family, 2 foot by 3 foot. That was a fun one to make, I gotta say. It turned out fantastic. Now, before your arms fall off, why are you pulling that off the wall? You're gonna ding it.
I was gonna show it off.
It's so heavy. You got it on 2 nails or 1 nail?
Thank you.
I don't know. Put my cannon up.
I don't know. Hopefully it's sturdy enough. Oh, is this the boyfriend in the background, Haley?
It is.
Hi, boyfriend. How are you? Look at him slink away. Nice to meet you.
Oh my goodness.
You can be in frame. It's all good. Heather, Jamie, how's it going? They don't want to talk to me anymore because I muted them. They're like, we're not even going to let you know how we're doing. Oh, no. Jamie's getting up. Let's see. Drum roll.
Sorry, we talk shop.
All right, it's all good. It's pretty. Ooh, wow, stormy. Is there extra? You threw some extra trees in there too?
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, it's a nice place.
We have like cotton candy clouds coming over this like dark and stormy night. It's very
Your city is a little more luxurious too. Your city's got some big like multi-million-dollar sprawling mansions there.
Oh, there's blue in there.
There's some big, there's like a lake and there's mansions. I don't have mansions in mine.
Pretty serious.
Yeah, they got like the ivory marble sides on them.
We extra.
Love it. Love it.
I know, but
really good, guys.
Stained glass. Everything has to be in stained glass.
I'm sure Heather is gonna show us again in just a second.
Go back in.
I love it, but here.
She did the warm half, cool half.
I like kind of bananas.
Yes. I like that little pink in the middle too, a little pink swatch.
Yeah.
It ties it together. You lost your stars though. The stars kind of disappeared.
I know, it's a disaster.
No, it's not a disaster. You can come back over to the top and put some swirly stars on top. That sky is dry, right? Come back with just like your white and do some swirlies on top.
Yeah.
Just have some fun.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with swirlies.
There's my finished tree.
Which one? Where? Can't see anything. It's black on my screen. Oh, there it goes. Okay. It like just glitched. That's all. Cool. Looking good. It's got a lot of texture in it. All right, so now you got a lot of white to cover up. Now your job is to get rid of that white.
Yes.
It's a lot of work.
The stained glass.
It's hard. Especially when you got lots of little shapes to fill in, lots of little details. Use a small brush, take your time. April, I love to see that one all done when you're done with the white of the sky and that. I'm gonna put a couple more finishing touches on mine. Then I'm done gabbing. You guys are all still working. I'll end the Zoom in a few minutes when I notice everybody's done working. Unless you want to stay on in Gab. I'd love to stay on in Gab with you guys. But I'm going to put my last finishing touches on there and call my drawing officially done in just a minute. I want to put just a little bit of dark blue in my sky. Just a little bit.
Angela, don't forget to sign yours. No.
There we are. That was looking a little bad to me. And I wanted a little more, maybe up here. Right up here. Just gonna go, oh, right underneath where this goes. Right there.
That's the thing about 5.
There we go.
Kids that actually look funny.
Looking good, looking good. I think I'm gonna call my painting. Nope, I wanna do this little swirl. I noticed because I look back at the camera here and it's like taking 6 feet away from it. It's like taking six steps back from it. I still wanna touch up this little spiral right here. So I'm gonna wash off my brush and just do just that one spiral that looks a little duller than all the rest. And I'm just gonna touch that up just a little smidgen here. Just a little red back in here. Bold, bold, bold. There we go. That looks good.
Oh.
Now I feel like I need a little more red in other places. Oh, that's the key color. Icky, icky. Whoa! Oops.
I guess you're done.
Still good, still good. A little dented, still good. All right, so I'm just put a little more work into my sky, and then I'm gonna call my painting done. How you guys doing? How was your week? Gab with me. Oh, if you want to punch out at any time, I'm gonna stop the recording right now. I'm gonna say this painting is done. We're gonna say the instruction is done on this thing. I'm gonna stay online. If any of you guys want to ask questions or stay on with me, feel free to finish painting with me. But I'm gonna give my goodbye spiel now, so I can stop the recording, so I can upload this thing to YouTube with a reasonable amount of video time. So thank all of you for joining. Thank you all of you for joining me.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I love to do this. This is what I love to do. If you enjoy it too, please sign up for more classes, because that's the only way I can keep doing it, is by having people fund my hobby. And if I'm not making any money, it is just a hobby. But I love doing it, and I'm doing it just for the love of painting, for the joy of painting, to spread the joy of art, and to keep us all out of our silly COVID depressions. I know we're all sick of being stuck at home, and we need something like this to keep us going throughout the week. So I'm going to be doing this for the foreseeable future every Friday night. I hope to see all of you here every Friday night with me. You were a joy to paint with. I loved seeing your different Van Goghs. And they're not all going to be, keep in mind, they're not all going to be this challenging. Some of them are going to be quite a bit easier than this. But again, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you guys all again soon.